Hello everyone and welcome to this year's edition of NUEL Live and this, the CSGO University Championship Grand Finals here at the Red Bull Gaming Sphere in London. It all started back in February where we had 133 teams across universities in the UK compete in a grueling Swiss bracket to qualify themselves into the top 16 playoffs. Playoffs then arrived, and then the favourites, many favourites, fell by the wayside. Warwick out, Oxford Brookes out, Portsmouth out. But two teams are left standing here today. It is the grand final newcomers of Swansea versus the grizzled veterans of Lancaster. I am Connery Maddock, Rapjoss in it for short. Joining me on the cast today will be Protalis, and this is crunch time. This is it here for the NUEL.
Yes, it certainly is. You weren't wrong when you mentioned Lancaster being absolute veterans. They've won 2 NUEL finals in the past, and they've come runner-up in 2 ones before. Also, an interesting thing to note, that Lancaster were here last year, this time last year, against the Titans of Warwick and were defeated then, so they're back again, and they're certainly going to be looking for blood. And Swansea, they've got it all to do to try and stop them.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't get many of these lands all that often in the university scene, and some of the players, this will be one of their first LAN experiences as well, especially for the Swansea guys who haven't hit a grand final in the entire existence of the NUEL so far. So there will definitely be an element of the LAN jitters going on, especially for Swansea.
Yeah, there's certainly going to be a little bit of nerves and lack of confidence potentially being seen from the Swansea side, especially when the stakes are so high. You've got 5 tickets to a premium VIP event, I believe it's ESL Cologne 2019, that are available for the winners here. So huge prize, VIP treatment, the ability to pick the different, meet the different players that you're seeing at the professional level, and it's really all to play for today. It's going to come down to the best of 3 series. I think it's going to go to 3 maps, and we've got 2 excellent rosters ahead of us.
Yeah, excellent rosters, and let's take a look at those rosters then, because we'll get ourselves, I believe this will be the team of Lancaster that's going to be up on your screen for you right now. Exit, Exploralis, Tobes, Enigma, and Wheelness. That's the center 3 that you see on your screen, the old core. When I said grizzled veterans at the top of the show, those are the 3 players that I am talking about, and all very powerful in terms of their fragging ability on the server, especially Tobes being an AWPing IGL.
Yeah, that's really not something you see very often. A lot of the times people think that it can detract from the tactical ability of that in-game leader, but it doesn't seem to have detracted from Tobes' ability at all. They had a really great run all the way to the finals. They've been undefeated in any series so far in varsity, so it looks like his tactical prowess is really shaping up to be something amazing. Something else we can talk about as well is Exit. He's not one of those core 3 veterans, but he has the second highest ADR at 89.9, only behind Enzu of Swansea. He's a really powerful rifler. He's shown himself as an individual performer really well, and I think he's really keeping up with this experienced core 3 players.
Yeah, and when we're talking about Lancaster, they've only dropped 2 maps so far this season out of the 14 that they've played so far. Most of those going to be on Mirage, and we'll get to the Mirage discussion a little bit later on, because those teams are absolutely crazy on that map. So we'll pretty much guaranteed to see it, but it's a matter of when we'll get to see it. Will it be one of the first picks, or will it be a decider? That is the big issue. And then we bring our discussion towards Swansea, the sort of underdogs in this sort of situation. You see the roster up on the screen for you now. Atomical, Enzu, Fedis, Hazza, and Matcha going to be fragging out on the server here today. And I think one player that stands out to me and has stood out throughout this entire season so far will be that player of Enzu.
It's got to be Enzu. He's absolutely incredible. 94.5 ADR so far averaged across all of the maps. That's absolutely astounding. He's statistically the best player in all of the NUEL. And let's not forget as well, Matcha is a very recent addition to this roster. In the series against Oxford Vipers, he was an incredibly impactful player, pulling off clutch after clutch in different rounds, really high fragging on all of the maps, and they found him almost by chance by meeting one of his friends at a local LAN in the Swansea area, if you can believe it. So these 2 players are going to be, I think, the necessary ingredient for Swansea if they're going to want to be able to keep up with Lancaster's tactical prowess and experience here.
It's funny where you find CSGO players from time to time, but we do have a head-to-head, one of two head-to-heads up on your screen for you right now. These are two of the most potent riflers for each team. That's going to be Exit for Lancaster University versus Hazza for the Swansea side. Pretty similar in terms of their stat lines. Of course, the headshot percentage advantage going to Hazza, always able to find those heads, but these two, they'll be dueling out on the server, no worries.
Yeah, certainly by the looks of the statistics here, you can quite comfortably say that Hazza is the entry fragger for Swansea's side. He's got slightly higher entries and a high headshot percentage. And a headshot percentage as an entry fragger is really useful, especially if you're using that AK-47, because one headshot can just completely eliminate a defending CT off a bomb site, and it can really open up different strategical inputs into rounds. Meanwhile, Exit, as an incredible ADR, he's shown himself to be a really high impact player for Lancaster, so it's really going to come down to the duels between these two players as the main riflers for their teams.
Yep, and then we'll get ourselves a look at the AWPA head-to-heads then between these two teams, and two very potent names indeed. Tobes versus Enzu. We've already chatted a little bit about Enzu and his performance so far this season, and he has the stat line to go with it as well. We mentioned the 94 ADR, the entry frags, the AWP kills there. It's slightly going in the favor of Tobes there, surprisingly enough. Enzu also very potent with a rifle as well, so no matter even if he doesn't have the money to get that AWP onto the server, you should still very much be scared of Enzu. But Tobes, even though he has his brain working at 100% all the time because of his IGL role, he can still really put that AWP to good use.
Yeah, something I'd say that Tobes certainly has the advantage in average AWP kills per map is because he's the primary AWPer for their roster, right? Enzu is more than comfortable to pick up a rifle in certain situations. He uses that AWP as a hybrid weapon and picks it situationally when he needs it on different positions in certain maps. So he's really potent when it comes to that. His ADR is so high. He's got such incredible fragging potential. He's got the most viewed clip of all of NUEL history with that 1 versus 5 pistol clutch, which was absolutely amazing. So I don't doubt at all that there are going to be certainly some clip-worthy moments from Enzu in this series.
Even if he's the only player left on the server, you should still be very, very much scared of Enzu. And talking about the Swansea roster as a whole and their journey up until this point, because they had to make that entire run through the lower bracket, going up against previous champions Warwick, and you've also got the other favourites as well. You had Portsmouth, you had of course Oxford Brooks as well, which were looking very good coming into this playoff bracket, but they all fell by the wayside. Swansea just took them out one after the other, and they've got themselves a deserved place in the grand finals.
Yeah, and something you have to note about all of those series as well is they were absolute brawls of series. They were 3-map best of threes, and all of them went to the last map, even against Warwick, against Portsmouth, and Oxford Brooks as well. And the Oxford Brooks one, it looked really shaky at certain points on overpass, but somehow Swansea managed to bring that determination up. They drew the will to succeed through for them, and they made it to the finals here. And we can just see the standings currently, both Lancaster and Swansea on 19 points. Now, Swansea Storm Green have had to defeat Oxford Brooks Vipers, Portsmouth and Warwick Stretchy Boys, all in best of 3 series in a row to bring themselves up to this point in time, whereas Lancaster, they had to win a much smaller amount of best of 3 series in order to make it here.
Absolutely. A more comfortable run through that upper bracket. You also see Warwick's second team there as well, which just goes to show how potent Warwick is in this university scene. Unfortunately for them, they're not here in the grand finals. You have UEA and Reading bringing it down to 8th place position, both having relatively good runs through the playoffs, but unfortunately didn't have the staying power to get themselves all the way through to a grand finals. And I can't wait to get this one started. It's absolutely crazy that we have this venue provided to us by Red Bull as well, Red Bull Gaming Sphere in London. If you get the chance to go to it, then please do, because it's an absolutely amazing venue, and you know, it's a fantastic host for the games that we're going to have today. Yeah,
it's an incredible venue. It's an incredible place. It's almost esports personified in the modern environment. I couldn't think of a better place for us to have the tournament, and I'm really excited to get into it. I genuinely think that this has the potential to be a 3-map series. Both of these teams are looking incredibly competitive. I'd say Lancaster have got the tactical edge, in my opinion, with Tobes being that experienced leader, having come so close to winning potentially 4 titles if they won those 2 finals against Warwick, and being defeated by, you know, what is renowned as the NUEL's most decorated team, the best team ever, and those were the only teams that managed to defeat them in those finals. They took a break, but they're back now in spring 2019, so Swansea are going to have their work cut out for them if they want to have a chance at defeating Lancaster here today.
It's not going to be easy for any means, and that just refers to what you said a little bit earlier on about we both think that this is going to go to 3 maps, and we have a pretty good idea of what the map vita is going to turn out like. If we see any deviation from that would be a surprise. But both teams do not like really to play Inferno or Nuke, so we expect those to be banned out pretty early on. And both teams absolutely love playing Mirage. So
yeah.
that if we get a Mirage, that is going to be an absolutely insane map to watch.
Yeah, I can give you some statistics on those map breakdowns. So neither team has actually played Nuke at all across any of the CSGO Varsity series. Swansea have played Dust 2 and Inferno, but they've played it once apiece, and both of the times it was picked against them. So it doesn't look like they're going to be going anywhere near those maps. Lancaster have only played Mirage. Well, they've played Mirage, Cache, Overpass, and a little bit of Inferno. But really not too much. Their core maps for both rosters appear to be Mirage, Overpass and Cache, and I think the veto is going to go that way unless one team has decided to be a bit sly and learn maybe a slightly more tactical map on the side, try and catch their opponents off guard, hit them with something like a train, something like a nuke really to throw things off. So that it could be some really interesting stuff going into the veto situation.
I think if there's one team that is actually going to throw in a surprise like that, it would be Lancaster, because they've had so much time to prepare, whereas Swansea, they've always have to be focusing on the next series and the next series on that run through the lower bracket. Lancaster, they could just watch from the sidelines watch the VODs with Swansea, and then there's so many VODs with Swansea in them on the NUEL channel. We've been broadcasting them a lot, so there's a lot to learn from those VODs, and Lancaster are going to be just scouring all over them in preparation for this particular matchup. And if they do want to throw a curveball like a nuke, that would be a viable option for them. But I think in a grand final, I think you have to go for a comfort pick.
Yeah, potentially. It depends on your confidence at the end of the day, right? If they're confident more in their individual aim and their core's ability to perform, then they'll happily take each other's strongest maps. However, if Lancaster think they do have that tactical edge, then they can really catch a team like Swansea off guard on a train, especially considering the defeat they suffered to Warwick on it earlier on in the series. Something that Swansea, I think, lack is just the tactical depth and experience that Lancaster have, as you've touched on already. Fetis mentioned in his interview after the Oxford Brookes Vipers series that sometimes Enzu does take over the calling for maps. If he's feeling it, Fetis will happily, he'll let the reins be taken by Enzu and let him do the calling. And there was that 16-2 absolutely dominating display on Mirage that Swansea Storm Green had against Warwick Stretchy Boys. And Enzu was calling for that entire map, I think. So potentially, if Enzu's really up to it, we could see some Nico-style in-game leadership, high fragging power going on in this tournament.
Yeah, if we get to see that, that will be absolutely brilliant. And you bring up that 16-2 stomp of Warwick on Mirage, and we also had that the previous map in that particular series on Cache, where Swansea had to make the comeback from a huge amount behind at half-time to bring that map back in their favour, bringing that confidence into Mirage, where they were able to stomp Warwick. And this is also going to be, using that, this is going to be a momentum-based series, I think. If one team comes out of the blocks running, they have such a huge advantage over the other. And, some teams in this sort of land situation do crack when things don't go their way.
Yeah, I think there are two core duos that really would be the main engines for the steamrollers for both teams. I think you're looking at Tobes and Exit on Lancaster. Tobes putting in that heavy AWP performance, and then Exit really doing well with the rifle. Those are the two players you want to see get momentum if you're a Lancaster fan. And for Swansea, it's got to be Enzu and Matcha. These two players seem to complement each other's play really well. Let's not leave Hazard out of the equation as well. He has had some excellent plays. He got a superb triple spray down on Overpass with a cheeky little flashbang thrown in by Enzu, which was perfectly placed thanks to the new flashbang assist in the HUD. But those are the two players that you really want to see get rolling in these matches in terms of absolutely raw firepower. We know for a fact that Enzu, almost on his own, if he's popping off and having a great game, he can completely overtake a map.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a force to be reckoned with on the server for certain. And another player that could also be that when it comes down to it is the player of Exit for Lancaster. Of course, not part of the original core that got those championships previous, but he's come into the team and he has lit the server alight with just insane plays. And he's going to be a standout performer here today if he turns up.
Yeah, absolutely. His aim and ADR as well. He's second only to Enzu in terms of statistical ADR performance. For those of you at home, ADR, average damage per round. So 100, it would equal, he's getting a kill every round, which is absolutely insane. Enzu had over 100 ADR at one point in the tournament, but it's dipped now to about 94.5 after the series against Oxford Brooks Vipers. But these numbers mean basically that these two players, Enzu and Exit, they are contributing really significantly to the fragging power in almost every round of the game. And I think both players, looking at their statistics, they're guaranteed to get at least one triple kill round per map. So there's certainly going to be some highlight plays coming out from these two.
Yeah, we'll definitely look forward to that fact. And of course, there are a couple of players that we haven't talked about yet. We can talk about Wheelness on that Lancaster side. More of a support role, I have to feel, for him coming into this one. Not really the flashiest of players, but if he can enable the other players on his team to do what they do best, then he could be a crucial part of Lancaster winning today.
Yeah, it could really come down to that in a series that would be as close as this. Is simple things like flashbang placement, right? It might not seem major in the terms of like the macro game. It might appear that aim or particular strategies are what's going to come out on top. But when you have teams that are really evenly matched, excellently placed flashbangs, smokes, and molotovs, if they're well timed and well placed, utility usage can really turn a map around for either team that's using it properly. So if a supportive player like Wheelness can be used in that example, he can throw the perfect flashes and allow Tobes to get a fade away after he's got one shot that stops him from being traded out by another defending CT player when he's using that up, or he's allowing Exit to get a double kill on the entry with a perfectly timed flashbang. These are the things that can really change rounds that would otherwise be going really wrong for your team and tilt them in your favour. And
speaking of utility usage as well, usually coming through the qualification stage in that Swiss bracket, a lot of teams do prefer to basically, for lack of a better term, pug it out against some of the other teams here in this entire championship. But when things get to the nitty-gritty, coming through the upper bracket final, the lower bracket final, of course the grand final as well, we get to see a lot more structured CS coming out from these teams here today. And I think that experience for Lancaster, that will really benefit them in that department, because they've been playing this game for years and years and years as a core as well. They all know each other's intricacies, and they can use that teamwork to their advantage. I'm worried about Swansea and their strategic plays here, I have to argue.
I think Swansea, I know for a fact that from interviews that Festus has done, that they do like to play a really puggy style. And to be honest, why wouldn't you? When you've got players like Enzu and Matcha, who have that really incredible aim, then sometimes a puggy style is all you need to just really brutalize your opponents and dominate them with aim. And against a puggy style, that's where the utility that I was talking about comes into success. That's one of the best ways to counteract a pug style, is use the smokes at the right time, use molotovs to stop pushes, and you can really limit the damage that a high impact player like Enzu can do if he can't get anywhere because his angles are smoked off or he's molotoved out of defensive positions. That's the way you counter a player like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You just got to think about some of the pro teams going up against Na'Vi, for example. Just pay a lot of attention to where Simple plays. Just try and neutralize him in any way possible. I'm not comparing Enzu to Simple here. I have to make that clear. There's probably a gulf of difference between those two players, but the analogy still holds true, though. If you can just neutralize him and keep him on a low level, then Lancaster have a much better chance indeed.
Yeah, another significant component of this series, I definitely think, is going to be economy management. We are working with a relatively new loss bonus mechanics, so there are going to be more gun rounds than we'd see, for example, in the last winter split, for example, of the NUEL. But economy management, especially on the CT side, is a huge deal because you need that utility. If you don't have enough money to get those grenades, or you're stuck on FAMASs and SMGs, you're absolutely going to be dominated by the cheaper and higher damage firepower from that AK-47. So it's really important that both CT sides, they need to focus on stringing rounds together. Even if the scoreline's tied up, as long as they can, it's not like trading one round back and forth, TCT, TCT. The Ts will eventually have the advantage in that situation because their weapons are cheaper. They'll get economy control if the loss bonus is neutered. Whereas if you go for like you win 3 rounds but then lose 2 and then win 4 on the CT side, for example, that's really going to put your money in a much better situation, and it's going to make the difference in the end.
Yeah, it might make an incredible difference. But the thing is, as we've seen in previous games throughout this entire championship so far, we've seen the importance of force buy rounds, especially Deagle rounds, where the players that can find their heads, like Hazza, for example, can just bean anyone on the server, and you can just basically treat that Deagle as a just one-tap AK in the right hand. So I think that will be a huge, huge factor as well. Who can just get the momentum of rounds together and not fall foul to those ecos and force buys?
Yeah, those forced buy situations I think have been a really key component to Swansea's ability to actually get this far in the tournament. We've seen multiple rounds so far in the NUEL on all of the broadcasts that they've been on, where they're winning these key important rounds where the CT economy is still a bit shaky, but they can afford a buy round, and the Ts, which would be Swansea in this case, have gone for that forced buy with the Deagles, and they managed to eliminate those CTs, take the rifles away, new to the money, and then all of a sudden the tables are turned and everything's in their advantage once again. So those rounds are going to be really important for Swansea, I think, in order to carry them through some of these maps in difficult situations.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to talk about. We're just waiting for the map vetoes to get themselves underway. A little bit of a delay in terms of that one, but we'll get into things relatively soon. But we've already mentioned that perhaps we'll get to see Cash, because that is a very strong Swansea pick there. They've shown good performances on that map before. We might just see Overpass here for Lancaster as well, perhaps aiming at a weakness on the Swansea side, because Swansea, they've played Overpass 3 times so far this season. They've only won 1 of those games, and Lancaster have had a much better record in that particular map with 3 played and 2 maps won there. So maybe that's sort of that's an advantage they can just work in the pick phase here. I'm unsure 100% if they'll go for it, but if I was the coach of Lancaster, I would definitely be aiming that as a chink in the armour.
Yeah, certainly. I think Overpass in particular, because it's not one of Swansea's stronger maps, but Swansea really don't look like they want to go to these other maps like Train or Nuke or Dust as an alternative. They've never picked them. They've never gone near them. They've always rather gone to Overpass as opposed to end up on those maps, even though it is a bit of a weak spot for them. However, the one map that they won, it was the last time they played against Oxford Brookes. It's one of the maps that allowed them to get here, and it came down to really when they were looking almost down in the dumps and they were being almost overrun by Oxford Brookes Viper. It was Fetis that started off with some high individual performances that strung a couple of rounds together, and then I think that gave his team the motivation and the inspiration to carry on, and then that's when Hazard took over, that's when Matcha took over the game, and they really started to look powerful. Lancaster, though, they've had a slightly better ride on Overpass. They've played it 3 times and had 2 victories on there, as opposed to Swansea's 1, but one of those victories was a 25-23 overtime, so it really could come down to the wire if they're up against a really experienced and skillful roster on that map.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had actually Experalis come on to a broadcast. I think it was for the lower bracket final just after that game had been concluded, and said that he himself was more of a LAN player. So obviously we have this concept in CSGO that some people are only good when it comes to online, and some people that just come alive when it comes to being in a LAN environment. And do you think that's going to be a huge factor here today, or is that just going to be sort of just more of a background thing?
I think it will be. It will have quite a little bit of significance in. It won't be the main driving factor, right? It's not like players on unless it's in some certain situations where they're playing cross-region, for example, and taking advantage of 100 ping, which you can't do in the NUEL because everyone's based in the UK. So hopefully the server connections are, at least decent. But there shouldn't be too much of a skill difference between online and LAN. The only thing that I'd say that comes into play and becomes a significant factor in that regard is the inexperience and the nerves of being at LAN for the first time, right? With so much at stake, as we've already mentioned, that's what's going to play the component. You get nervous, your aim's a little bit off, then you lose confidence, you go in for slightly more aggressive duels to try and recuperate some of the past mistakes that you've made, and then you're just losing those time and time again. So it's really important that players, especially that are new to the LAN environment, keep a cool head, keep it calm, and that's a responsibility that's going to be on the in-game leader for both teams, to keep their teams cool, calm and collected and at their best performance playing at this LAN.
Yeah, and you don't just have the element at a LAN of spectators watching over your shoulder or on the big screen as well that we do have set up here at the Red Bull Gaming Sphere in London. But it's also the fact that you're not playing on the exact same equipment as you do at your home. Of course, you have your desk height perfect at home. You have your own monitor. We have all the same monitors for all the players here today, but they may not be the exact same as the players have at home. They've been able to bring their own peripherals, yes. But it's just those little changes, those subtle changes of, is that monitor like too far away, too close to you? Do I feel the temperature in the room, for example? If that's off, that might throw someone off. It's all these small things that might just build up and cause someone to not perform at their maximum potential.
Another thing that might build up as well is if your opponent is gaining a lot of momentum and you can hear them cheering and getting loud, really commendating each other every time they win that round, it can really put your confidence off. You know, you feel like your other team is, you know, they're starting to get the advantage, they're starting to pull away here, and they're constantly motivating each other, fist bumping, shouting at victory. That's some of the things, you know, a little bit of psychological warfare that can really put their opponents off in that regard. So that's another one of those small factors that you said that could come into play.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I personally have ever actually been in this situation before. I'm a solidly average Counter-Strike player. I think it has to be said. You actually beat me in one of the 1v1s that we did a little bit earlier.
Surprisingly.
Surprisingly. I blame the AC that was blowing in my face in that sort of situation. Yeah. It was pretty chilly, and obviously, like the things I just described with there's different setups, I wasn't feeling my best. I'll just use that as an excuse for that one. I did win the one previous, though, yes. So it's not all bad, but... you know, this is, as we said, an absolutely fantastic venue as a result, and I don't fault Red Bull at all. It is absolutely perfect in here. But, you know, talking about this entire sort of CSGO scene in the in universities around the UK, even if your team does not get to the advanced stages of this competition, like the grand finals, like in the top 16 playoffs, if you're in university right now, just go and see if your university has an esports society and just get stuck in. You never know what might happen. You might be here in a couple of splits time.
Yeah, well, I think we are going into the vetoes now, so something I'm expecting it to be a Mirage Overpass Cash series. I think that is going to be the order that's going to be picked. If Swansea have the first pick, I can see Cash coming in first here. Mirage is a really strong map for Lancaster and Swansea. Swansea have faltered on it a little bit recently. Lancaster have played Mirage 8 times and won it 7 out of those 8 times, so it's really looking like one of their pivotal key points for that. There goes the Inferno ban, actually from Lancaster. I thought they'd be more willing to play it than Swansea would. I'm predicting now that Swansea come out with something like a train or a nuke ban, but I don't know, they might try something zany. They might go for that overpass ban, try and take something out, but then they're going to have to be relying on maybe a map like Dust 2 where Enzu or Matcha with their high individual aim can really take that out. Oh, never mind, it was Swansea that have banned out Inferno, we mentioned before. Yeah. They don't like Inferno. They got beaten quite heavily on it a couple of times, I think, so they're going to want to stay well away from that one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking good for my predictions so far. If you're looking down, I do have my notes down there, and I did a little prediction of how the veto process will go, and I didn't expect that, though. Dust 2 ban from Lancaster there, which is not what I had in the first phase of banning. I did say in my predictions that it would be coming in the second phase of banning, but this opens up a lot of options now.
This suggests to me that Lancaster are much more comfortable on those tactical maps, like a train, like a nuke, for example, than they are on the puggy style of Dust 2, which makes me suggest that I really do think it's going to be a Cash Overpass Mirage series, but if one of those maps get taken out, I'd be really interested to see whether, you know, train or nuke does come into it, and there we are. There's the Cash pick that we were talking about. This is probably the better map for Swansea. It's their most comfortable map, I'd say, for sure, and I'd say they do have the slight edge going into it based on their previous victories on this one.
Yep, absolutely. We will just have to wait to see what's the pick for. Well, that's technically says a ban. I guess that would be a pick for Overpass, though, because we were just discussing that. So change of the graphics needed, but Lancaster will pick Overpass there, and that is exactly to be expected. We just went over it. So, but the thing is, will it be an issue of a Mirage decider, though? That is going to be concluded in just a couple of moments' time, because we're just about ready to get ourselves into the game. We'll get the news on the third map in just a couple of moments' time. That's not the ideal situation going on there.
It's all right. We can still have a little bit more time to talk. I love talking about these two teams anyway. I am predicting that we probably do end up on Mirage as that third map, as both teams are comfortable on it. But we'll have to see, should we get there. The first person round is actually already underway now, so a bit of a brawl going up either way. Tobes, the last man left alive for Lancaster, but Swansea have already managed to defuse the bomb, so things actually going quite well for them in that one.
The first pistol round going the way of Swansea. Storm Green, then Hazard and Enzu chiming in with 2 kills apiece. Ferris also getting a kill onto the board. We will immediately have a pause here, but that's actually a fantastic start there for Swansea Storm Green on their map pick of Cash. Of course, important to start off on the right foot.
Yeah, of course. Especially when they're on the CT side, I'm very surprised that Lancaster actually decided to pick the T side on Cash of all things. Usually, you consider that CT side to be the easier place to start. And Swansea, as we were mentioning, they've got that economy buff now. They've got, nearly $42, $50 a piece for them to pick into this one, and they're more likely to go with those SMGs, FAMAS rifles in this round. Try and go for a bonus round with the new economy updates. It does make more sense that the T's go for the straight eco into the second one, because they're going to get more money heading into that third round. But they've actually just proved me wrong. They're going straight for AKs in the second round. Lancaster must be feeling very, very confident in their aim in this one. AKs out, it might look like completely around the board. They're certainly being dropped to the core 3 players by the looks of things. Surprised to see Exit not on one. There we are. It is dropped to him in the end. And a Deagle going the way of Wheelnius. So we'll have to see whether Swansea actually decide what they're going to do with this one. I don't know if they're going to be able to predict that accurately. If they pick some MP9s against this lineup with 3 players and head armors and AKs, they're in a really hard disadvantage if a bomb site just gets absolutely stormed by these AK-47s here.
Yeah, the important thing is they did actually get the bomb plant down, so they were able to buy up those couple of AKs into this particular round, and we'll get to see sort of inkling of what the buy will be like for Swansea Storm Green. Of course, usually on the second round for CTs, you usually get those SMGs out there, but if you do suspect that Lancaster have forced in this sort of situation, then don't exactly blame them for getting the rifles out there. We will actually see 4 M4A4s going out onto Swansea Storm Green, the SMGs going onto Atomical and Matcha, as well as we will get going here for the second round of this first map of the best of 3 grand finals between Swansea Storm Green and Lancaster University. And it looks like Lancaster, they're just going to stack themselves up towards A main here. Matcha, that grenade can do so much damage.
Whoa.
Look at the utility usage. Absolutely brilliant stuff there from Matcha. And that softens up these players now, Brutalis, for that SMG to do massive amounts of work.
Yeah, absolutely. The UMPs all of a sudden become way more valuable in this round due to those low HP players. One trade going each way. Expirales getting the second kill though. Enzu the man to do it, and him and Matcha, they're just going to absolutely shut down that attack completely. Lancaster, they're back to the drawing board for this one. Their economy now is in a much worse situation than it would have been had they ecoed into this one. Interesting to notice Expirales on -1 kills right now, so clearly he's eliminated his teammate in one of the previous rounds, and yep, they're going for a completely full eco here. 3 Deagles, a couple of pistols in this one, and all the rifles going in favour of Swansea Storm Green.
Yeah, seems to be the case, and Enzo playing very close up towards mid. The boost over will come through from Lancaster, perhaps. Tobe's playing very passive on that angle right now, just afraid of anyone being pushed quite close. And having to look for some hopeful spam through, and Ashley tags down Wheelness a little bit here, and Tobes will go down on that particular boost. So this is a round for Lancaster where they weren't really expecting much out of anyway. They were down onto the upgraded pistols with no armor, so Swansea Storm Green just looking to clean up and get ourselves to 3-0.
Yeah, I think Lancaster's main goal here, they do still have bomb control, so they are going to try and get onto a bomb site and get that planted. The issue is, it's really difficult to do so. They haven't actually managed to find any opening trades, but well, Enigma's got one headshot there, but Enzu's positioning in the vents combined with the teammate of Atomical there, really going to shut down any hopes that Lancaster have of the rest of this one. Expirales, you're hoping for 1 kill, maybe 2 at best if he goes for this next headshot, but is going to be eliminated through the smoke as his tracer is spotted by Enzu. And Swansea Storm Green, they're 3-0 up. This is their home pick map, I would say. They are most comfortable on this one, and another partial force buy coming out here. Wheelnius only bought a scout. He did have $3,400 left, so he's elected to go with that utility instead. And we've seen the 2 orgs coming out for Atomical and Fetis. The price has been increased in one of the recent updates, but it hasn't deterred them. The power of the org has been discovered, and let's see if Atomical can do anything great with it here.
Let's just see. Lancaster take this one more passive. Enzo will go down early. Fest is able to trade back. That was an aggressive push through towards B main for the CT side, and that's a fantastic amount of control and information being received there for Swansea Storm Green. They can actually start to rotate players more towards that A side of the map right now, because Hazard can just act as an early warning signal if Lancaster decide to head B.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to him being able to hear the sound of that break going, the sound of the vent breaking, but the further away he gets onto that B bomb site, the less he is going to be able to do so. I think he should just still be able to hear it break if they do decide to attack the B bomb site through that angle. Fetis is going to be the man to rotate around to help him now, and Atomical going to be holding mid here. He is going to win that opening duel against Tobes. 3 players left now for Lancaster, and it looks like they're probably going to angle towards B off of this one.
Yeah, looks to be the case. Still 53 seconds left in the round, so plenty of time for Lancaster to try and prod and prod their way around the map. But the thing is, the flashbang had to be used there to clean out B main because of the push previously from Swansea Storm Green. But they will get that utility used down on towards the site, and that's Fetis' 2 just getting a little bit toasty here. Hazard still on the site. Fetis do a little bit of a one-way over the top of the smoke there. Is able to find Wheelness. Flash goes out as well, pulls out the Orc, but Hazard is able to find one, and there we go. The trade's going either way on the B bomb site, but it will be Swansea Storm Green that get themselves 4 rounds.
Yeah, we see those really key CT trades being the cause of them winning that one. Lancaster did actually get 2 opening kills onto that bomb site, but Atomical was really quick on the rotate over towards Heaven. He managed to trade out his teammate and eliminate the final remaining player, and this is something that Fetis believes is a really core strength of their roster, is their ability to trade effectively. That's what they believe they were doing so well on Cash. They believe it's one of their key strengths on this map, and once again, a full buy round from Lancaster has been eliminated. They're all down to CZs and armor, and well, this pistol is quite powerful with the headshot potential. Atomical is going to get a little bit cheeky up in this smoke. He is in a little bit of danger if they predict this, to be honest. But he's in a great position now. Gets a double spray down with the assistance of Fetis, but Exit is going to eliminate him as they attack the bomb site.
Fetis, he's completely primed. He's trying to spray, but the thing is, Enzu has his back. Tobes is able to find Fetis on the site, though. Enzu gets smoked off from CT. The bomb can go and get planted here for Lancaster as Swansea Storm Green try to manage this retake. It's Tobes all alone to defend the site, but Hazard coming up big with the final 2 frags of the round to allow Swansea Storm Green to pull even further ahead.
Excellent play there from Hazard towards the checkered area. I think he spotted the barrel of the gun from Exit there under the Heaven position, just peeking out, so he knew he just had to spray that corner because he was probably going to get faced anyway. Otherwise the T defending players would have had to deal with 3 incoming attack angles at once. So Exit tries to go for that aggressive kill on Checkered, just doesn't work out for him. Hazard's aim is just too good there, and then Hazard obviously eliminating the final player there as well. Finally, we're seeing something that resembles a reasonable buy from Lancaster. There is an AWP in the hands of Tobes, and an AWP in the hands of Enzu now as well, and he's got an opening kill with it on Esperalis.
He went through that smoke as well to be able to find that one, so Enzu, no lack of confidence here in the grand final. Tobes perhaps trying to reply with the AWP of his own, but not going to find anyone peeking into him just yet. Fetis just tempts fate there with the AWP. He's able to get away. Tobes still very much aware of this angle. Fetis playing underneath the barrels, and the flash will force Tobes off the angle, get smoked as well, and that's Swansea just really wanting to neutralize Tobes there in the blue door.
It looks like that's really made Lancaster reconsider their options of what bomb site they're going to attack. Tobes is going to rotate all the way back over towards T-spawn and maybe even mid. There's 3 players effectively, now 4 defending this A bomb site, as it does look like it's going to be a mid and A main split onto this A bomb site, although players are starting to retreat over towards mid. I don't really know what's going to happen as they head now into A main. So it is gearing up for an A site execute, as the time is getting a little bit too low now to execute fully on the B bomb site. And a player in the form of Enzu has rotated over back towards B now. So it's going to be all on these defending players now.
It will be Lancaster out on towards the A site. Exit will find the opening, traded back though from Atomical, playing those toxic barrels like a pro, and now Fetis is able to chime in with a kill of his own as well. Wheelness versus 4 simply isn't going to happen. Swansea Storm Green straight out of the gates here with 6 rounds to Lancaster's 0. I don't think you could have thought of any more ideal performance than what they're displaying right now.
Right, double AWP setup coming out already in just round 7 of this first map of Cash here. We did mention in the veto process that this is Swansea's most comfortable map. They've defeated the Titans and NUEL on here. Time and time again, they've relied on it to get through these series and make it to where they are today, and now they're really showing why they're so dominant. They're already 6-0 up. They've lost, they haven't really come close to losing rounds, I wouldn't say. They've had at least 2 players left alive, and Enzu, if he just keeps getting these opening kills with that AWP like that, he's really going to be causing trouble for Lancaster for I'd say the duration of this map, if not the series.
Oh, he's going to get greedy. Having a look for the moves up in towards Vents. He will get smoked off of that position, but that Molotov is going to cause a couple of problems here for Lancaster. Atomical also pinning them in towards the vent as well, but somehow they managed to survive. Do Lancaster able to drop themselves down into the checker's position. Tobes with the Deagle has to find the heads for that weapon. Enzu looking for the wall bangs through, but not going to connect just yet. And here comes Esperalis. He might have just found the chink in the armor here of the Swansea Storm Green defense. But the thing is, Swansea, they know exactly what is happening, and it's Enzu able to get the frag. They've got almost all their players stacked up towards Car as the frags go left, right, and center. But Lancaster, they've been able to find most of the Swansea players. Here comes Matcha in the 1 versus 2 situation. Trades out the AWP for the AK-47. He has a 1 versus 1 on the site here. If he can get on the bomb quickly as well, then that's going to be Tobes completely and utterly neutralized. He has to chase Wheelness onto the site. Wheelness is doing a fantastic job to try and delay and try and get Tobes in position here. But Tobes, he's just watching for the cross coming up through highway. I don't think Matcha expects this. He had half a mind about going that way. Still trying to juke Wheelness around the ball. He does find the frag, but the thing is, the bomb is not planted for Tobes. Tobes simply has to push. Matcha will hold the bomb, and that's going to be the round going the way of Lancaster.
What an excellent grenade there from Tobes. That was absolutely incredible. It looked like everything was going wrong there for Lancaster. The bomb wasn't planted for Tobes, even though, you know, despite the excellent play coming around from that quad position, really confusing the Swansea player. He didn't know which way to go. Stuck the bomb. It looked like he was going to get it in the end. It looked like that was all but Swansea's round, but that HE grenade, absolutely perfect in that situation, completely eliminating the diffuser and finally letting Lancaster have a round on the scoreboard.
That must have been so little time left on that bomb. Oh my words. Lancaster, what a way to get your first rounds here. Experalis up on the boost. Oh, he gets naded out there. Down to 77 HP. Looks for the flash up in towards mid to give him a little bit more room to maneuver. He's also got a teammate up on the boost as well. But Hazard just playing some shenanigans behind the smoke here. Enzu not able to land the frag onto one of the boost players. Hazard now peeks out from behind the smoke. He's able to find 2. Mid is on lockdown here for the CTs, and Hazard is putting in so much work. Wheelness gets tagged down through the garage position as well, just to add insult to injury. But Swansea, they're not letting the momentum swing back in the favour of Lancaster.
This would have been a really important round for Lancaster to win. It still is if they can manage to pull it off. The economy for Swansea is looking very dire. Enzu with no money left in the bank account. There's really, you know, the amount of cash available to these players is super low after losing that last round. It would have been a really important one if they could have, you know, rushed the bomb site quite quickly, maybe gotten those 3 kills and got the bomb down early and guaranteed it. They're going to try and go over towards this B bomb site now, see if they can take the bomb over there and do something. But Swansea's tactical reads just seem absolutely incredible. They did an excellent rotation back over towards the A bomb site in the last round, and now they've got a player coming in vents to defend this B bomb site. There's 4 players on B right now. They're reading this amazingly. Lancaster, it looks like it's all but over in this round.
Absolutely, Hazard in the vent trying to defend this B bomb site, but that was over so quickly. The numbers advantage going the way of Swansea on that B bomb site. Lancaster were just read like a book.
Yeah, I know. There's some incredible tactical calling coming out from Swansea here. I think this is why they call it their home map. This is why they pick it so comfortably. They read the partial buy fake on that B bomb site where they, you know, they went back out to mid and then headed up towards A through highway. They read that perfectly as well. They almost rotated 2 players off towards B, but it almost looked like, you know, perhaps Fetis, if he's doing the calling on this map, which he probably is, said, come back now, but here comes the CZ rush onto the A bomb site.
Here we go, out they go, but Fetis trying to spray them down. He's only able to find 1. Enzu finds one of his own as well, but the trades are here for Lancaster. Bombing caught out in the open a little bit. If Enzu peeks out into that one, he can perhaps try and catch a couple of players crossing, but the thing is, the bomb will be safely planted here, but it will be forced off of it. Atomical and Tobes will be trading out. Tobes finds another one, and now it's Hazard left in the 1 versus 2. Oh, how things change so quickly. It was a CZ rush on towards the A bomb site for Lancaster, but somehow they find all the frags and they find the rifles as well. What is Tobes doing right there? Exit bails him out, but that was an unexpected round for Lancaster.
That was a really rough AWP shot miss there that we just witnessed. That would have made the difference potentially between Hazard clutching that round out and being able to take it. And really incredible play there from Lancaster. I really did not expect them to be able to use the CZs that effectively to gain those entry kills. And look what it's garnered them. They've got a double AWP setup coming out on the T side of Cash. Double AWP setups on the T side are very rarely seen anywhere. It's going to be Tobe and Experalis, the players with the weapons. And now the roles are reversed. It's Swansea Storm Green that are on these Deagles and CZs now. Oh no. Little boost gets spotted out there. Exit does actually manage to get Enzu in the end. The repeat turning out not to be the smarter decision in that one, and the double nade trying to eliminate the player who did the boosting in the end. But it does look like Lancaster are going to be able to probably get this one. None of the players for Swansea do have any body armour to accompany those Deagles, but when you're against an AWP or an AK, potentially that doesn't matter so much. So we'll have to see if Swansea can potentially eliminate some of these players with some Deagle headshots, take the rifles and bring them into the next round.
Lancaster slowly creeping themselves up towards the B bomb site, but the thing is, there's only one defender of this one this time around. Hazard is a fast rotation through the vent if he decides to go for it, but Atomical, he's doing the big brain play. He's just sitting in the smoke and making Lancaster think it's actually a stack towards the A side of the map. Atomical, this is all about the timing. Steps out, tries to spam at Wheelness, but he doesn't even find one kill. Hazard from the backlines is able to find one, but it's still advantage very much with Lancaster. Fedis versus 4, a Deagle in hand, no armor, no utility. But that could have been so sketchy there for Lancaster if that CT was able to find more than one. Fedis finds the one, Deke finds the second as well. Starts to look a bit more possible, but Tobes will say no.
Well, that's better than I thought it was going to go initially. You know, they did actually manage to get 3 kills at the end of that round with just a Deagle buy. So all in all on the CT side, that's almost all you can hope for with the pistol buy in those rounds, other than, of course, some kind of mental insane victory. I was really surprised that Hazard did actually manage to get that early kill over towards B main, because it looked like he just completely crept past Enigma, who was supposed to be defending that area. He's gone in James Bond mode and snuck past him somehow, but now it is going to be another full gun round for both sides. No AWPs available for Swansea and 2 FAMASs instead of those upgraded rifles.
Swansea love playing behind that mid-smoke there. Love playing aggressive, and it's simply a position that you do have to hold on the CT side here on Cash. Perhaps more so than any other map, because it gives you so many options here on Cash. Matcher, no, up above, sees the utility go out. He's completely and utterly blind from that flash that came through, though. But Lancaster a little bit tentative, trying to make their way out. He will be traded out by Hazard. He gets the triple spray down. Oh, it is all collapsed here for Lancaster. They tried to find their way out. Toast might just get a lineup here with the AWP, but the timing's not with him. What a round from Hazard.
There we are, Hazard. A quad kill spray down for him on the attack there. Excellent positioning. By having Matcher on top of the rafters and having a player in forklift, they have to look at 2 angles at once almost when they come out there. Especially if there's another defending player over towards quad or the car position. There's too many angles for Lancaster to try and anticipate and try and defend against. They're probably expecting as they come out there that Matcher on top, he's the one player on the left that they have to look at, and then they can turn back towards the site. But then Hazard in a perfect position for that spray down. Excellent defense there. Still going to be another gun round. Atomical still going to be on a FAMAS, so the money's still not great for either side here, and their bank's going to be broken for the whichever side loses this one, and it's looking like Lancaster are getting the early advantage.
Hazard isolated, pushed up mid thanks to that smoke that drops directly in the middle of mid, but the flash is good there for Fedis to peek out. He might have just spotted the other one as well. He gets pressured through vent. Enigma will be able to find him. Just Atomical now on this B bomb site. Rotations are on the way. CT smoke is down, and now Atomical, he can't do anything with that FAMAS. Enzu will be neutralized for now thanks to that Molotov. He does find an angle, but the fire will spread to his feet. Bomb going to be planted any second now for Lancaster. They haven't done it just yet. They're so scared of Swansea Storm Green players playing at weird angles, but now it's Enzu versus 4, and with his body language that off right now, he's just deciding to back things off and save that into the next round. Maybe just trying to find a couple of exit frags here might be the plan.
Yeah, quite a slightly larger error than it may have seen Enzu taking some damage from that Molotov there, because the sound tick, right? You can hear when it damages the players, and then 2 of the players from Lancaster, they clearly heard it, communicated to their team that there was someone there, and that's why you saw the flash and HE grenade come straight out onto him, really forcing him off the position. Enzu, what on earth is going on there? He's trying to go for some kind of aggressive save position, but doesn't work out for him. AWP taken out, and the economy now for Swansea is not looking great.
I don't like that decision. I don't like that decision from Enzo. Yes, you've been popping off in this map so far, but I don't think there's any excuse to go for an aggressive push, trying to find maybe a couple of frags there. Just sit at an angle as the players try to exit. You probably have better luck, and just give yourself an escape route as well, more importantly with that AWP. But Swansea, they are down onto the pistols. They're gone for the quick push through B, and they don't meet with anyone just yet, so they might be able to stab Lancaster in the back here. They're still very much focused on mid. I don't think they understand exactly what has happened. Wheelers gets shot in the back. Hazard will be able to find him. Enigma wondering what's going on. The kills will go the way of Swansea on this pistol buy, but it's been brought down to a 2 versus 2 thanks to the hands of Tobes. But the thing is, the bomb is caught in the open there towards mid. You also have a couple of CTs that can get themselves involved here, so this is still a very sketchy situation here for Lancaster. You have a player for Swansea playing behind that white box right now. It's all a matter if Esperalis actually checks this. Tobes will bring it down to a 1 versus 2. It's Enzu with an AK, and that is a very scary prospect indeed. He doesn't have any armor to his name. Oh, it's Esperalis that wins it for Lancaster.
Esperalis with his 2nd kill of the game there. really coming in with quite an important one. Enzu not having that body armor, that's what made the difference. He started the spray down there, and as soon as esports started shooting him, his spray pattern goes out of control. He can't do anything. Enzo really needs the headshot there, and it's no easy task to ask for. Headshot a player that's strafing out into you, but Swansea did an incredible job of making that round much closer than it should have been. Absolute chaos out towards mid at the start of that last round now, and they are going to be able to get rifles back. But look at their utility. They have one flashbang left in the hands of Fetis, so they're really under-equipped to deal with any sort of bomb site attack here, utility-wise at least, which means they're going to have to put in all of that extra work into their aim to try and deal with any potential pushes here.
Yeah, they can't delay anything to get those rotates in, so they will be definitely hurting when it comes to trying to defend these site executes here from Lancaster. So Lancaster with the upper hand in terms of the buy here, despite rifles being on the server for all 10 players right now. X having a little bit of an explore towards the A site, will get punished by Matcher. So now Swansea Storm Green have the man advantage to work with here. Wheelness making his presence known in the blue door, looking for a lucky spam through to default there, but not going to find anything at all. Meanwhile, Lancaster have been able to get themselves a bit of mid-control here. That is one of the first times they've been able to do so, but the thing is, Hazza at an off angle on the top of the ladder, Tobes had no chance.
Yeah, not at all there. Hazza's been doing great so far in this map. He's been really high impact, really on point with his rifle aim in all of these situations, and now Lancaster, they're left in an awkward situation once again. I'm really surprised how they've gotten into this position. They had so much utility that they could have potentially used to try and isolate these angles on the attack, but look at this. Swansea's aim is just absolutely incredible. Enigma, though, getting an excellent headshot, looking for more on the rafters. He's actually going to find one. He's got way more to do. He's got 3 more players to find if he wants to win this round, and it just gets more and more difficult as these CT players, there's one flanking him now. He does have the bomb, but he's really got to read this. Unfortunately, can't. Enzu switches to the USPS, gets that headshot. Good job getting those 2 opening entry kills, but you're left in a 1 versus 5. It's a nearly impossible situation to win there, and unfortunately, it just doesn't go their way as we head now into the final round of the first half, and Swansea are on track for a 10-5 scoreline in their favour.
Looking relatively comfortable on their map pick are Swansea Storm Green. Their money not looking the greatest, so if Lancaster are able to win, well, it's the last round, so it's not like this matters. So Lancaster have been are buying up into this round regardless of the money situation. They do have that AWP on Tobes, though, that can be a very potent factor. Exit on an AK, but Enzu finds Tobes. That's one of the most powerful bits of weaponry that Lancaster have, being ripped out of their hands. Hazza be able to find one as well, playing pushed up, close up towards mid. Able to find those frags, and Lancaster, what do you do from this point forward? Because Hazza, he's just lining them all up. The thing is, he won't get the last kill. He has Atomical to back him up, but a very convincing first half there for Swansea. Yeah,
great play from them. We say it time and time again, they look so comfortable here. Look at Hazard, 20 kills at half-time. That's incredible. Enzu following him up nice and closely with 15. On the other side, Tobes has been doing all the work with Enigma by the looks of things, 15 and 13 kills apiece. But look at Wheelness and Exploralis at this point. I understand they might need to be taking a more supportive role in the team, but 2 kills apiece really isn't good enough in these LAN finals. They're really going to need to try and sort of expand their ability to play here, try and get a little bit more fragging potential out of these 2 players. I don't know what the issue might potentially be with them, but if they don't sort things out soon, they are looking like they could be in a potentially really dangerous position.
Yeah, I think Swansea in this situation has simply turned up to LAN and just grabbed the bull by its horns. The aggressive plays all over the map, coming through beaming with those aggressive peaks from Enzu. Hazza playing pushed up mid, finding multi-frags. It's seemingly that Lancaster can't find any inroads into this game so far, but the thing is, what can they do when the roles are reversed and they're on the CT side?
Yeah, everything's going to be switched up now. I've got a feeling that Hazza, he might be pushed into that entry position. We mentioned that he was a little bit of an entry fragger in the previous round, and what on earth is going on here? A T-side counter boost. They're clearly expecting some aggression over towards B main here. That's really not going to go their way, unfortunately, in this one, but there is a really heavy B presence, actually. They've got 1 player in mid and 3 players on the B site, so Lancaster have read that this could potentially be a B execute, but they are starting to rotate players away now, and the USPSs, they've got work to do here, but they're not managing to land any headshots. Exploralis is going to have to fall off and wait for his teammates, and now, they've been rumbled. They've just started to realise that the rotates are coming in. This could still be quite dodgy, but we're going to have to see what happens.
Yeah, bomb hasn't crossed just yet. It will just be... Oh, there we go. That's Enzu jumping across with the bomb. Exploralis will be found on the other side of the map. Enzu finding another frag with the help of the Lancaster player as well. Enigma versus 4. on this pistol round. He's down to 5 HP. He is able to find Atomical, but this is still inordinately difficult there. And it will be the round going the way of the T side of Swansea in that sort of situation. They start as they mean to continue here on the second half.
Yeah, exactly. Winning the pistol round is really huge as well, and it's really huge, like not just in terms of scoreline purposes, but in terms of Lancaster's mental state, right? If you win the pistol round after a rough first half, it can really be the sort of initiator that you need to push forward and gain some momentum going into the rest of the game. Losing it just puts them on the back foot once again. They've got less money, especially on the CT side. They've only got $2,000 left in the bank in the second round, and they haven't really bought anything other than a P250, so this looks like it's almost certainly going to be Swansea's round once again, and Lancaster, they're going to have to bring something out here. I think what might be the key to their success in later rounds once their economy's better, it's got to be, for me, a really successful AWP strategy, whether it's a single AWP in the hand of Tobes and he's popping off and getting those incredible kills, or whether they're going for a double AWP setup and defending one bomb site each with it. Well, Atomical's going to open one thing off with a headshot over towards mid, and well, esports is going to see what he can do with the USP now. Not very much is the answer.
Yeah, throwaway round here for Lancaster as they drop one by one like flies. Swansea will survive with all 5 alive here in round 17 of the first map of this best of 3 grand final here for the NUEL Spring Split. But the thing is, this is where things might just start to change here for Lancaster if they start to get a good couple of rounds together. They do have the rifles out there this time. They don't have the maximum amount of utility though, which could very much be a problem, but Lancaster, they need to find a solution and fast, and this might just be it because Expralis and Enigma, they have mid on lockdown.
Now, you know, the two players we talked about needing to step up, they've just done it in this round, completely shut down any attempt at Swansea gaining mid-control here, put them on the back foot straight away. Only 3 players left alive. Thankfully, they didn't lose the bomb over there, but Matcha, he's only got a Mac 10. He's going to be able to pick up a Galil as somewhat of an upgrade, but 2 Galils on this roster, you know, they're going to be effective against the unarmored players. Fetis is actually going to take a little bit of damage from Tobes there, almost expecting that there'd be players all the way up in checkered, as they know that they've left a passive defending player over towards B only. Really interesting. I don't really understand what Swansea's goal is there. Fetis goes over towards B. Maybe you're thinking he's trying to get a pick or trying to fake a push, but the other 2 players, they've gone up into A main and left the bomb all the way in T spawn. So I think they're just going for picks in this one, but Enigma looks like he's just going to be able to eliminate Hazard nice and quickly.
Looks to be simple enough right now for Lancaster, and they will survive with all 5 at the end of the gun round. So that is an absolutely brilliant performance in that particular round here for Lancaster. But the thing is, they can't rest on their laurels right now because they need to string these rounds together if they're going to neutralize Swansea here on their map pick. They're going to go up against the Deagles in this particular round. Armor on a good couple of players, except for Enzu, who's perhaps saving for a more comfortable buy with the AWP into the next. Yeah,
I certainly think so. He's already got 48.50 in the bank, which suggests to me they're either going to try and buy an AWP and drop another form of rifle or SMG to the players, or he's going to go for a double AK buy in the next one and be able to drop one to one of his teammates, maybe Atomical, who's got the least money left over. Let's not discount anyone. I'm a little bit confused as to why Enzu doesn't have a Deagle. He's only got a Glock, and Hazard's just going to kill him for some reason. Suggests to me that there's something going wrong technically in the server at the moment, which should give us some time to talk about these players. And that last round in particular really confused me. I didn't understand the mentality going through from Swansea Storm Green. You know, obviously they lost the first 2 players over towards mid, but what do they do for the rest of that round? I'm still trying to figure it out. They send 2 players over towards the A bomb site and 1 over towards the B bomb site, but they didn't really do anything. They didn't take any really aggressive, you know, bold peeks onto those bomb sites and go for, you know, mad entry kills, and they left the bomb all the way behind, so they couldn't even go and plant on a bomb site if they wanted to. Really perplexing play from me there. Certainly not the decision that I would have been making in that position, and it really didn't work out for them. It just left them in like a disjointed split push, and they all just got picked off one by the Lancaster players, and that's why they've got the full rifle buy, you know, able to be used now in this round coming up.
Thing is, it looks like they're just running down the clock right now to try and getting a teammate just jumping in his face right there. But still, it's not the most ideal situation having Enzu have a couple of problems, shall we say. So we'll see how this one gets sorted here in just a couple of moments' time. But Lancaster, we just got to look at options now to get themselves back into this game. They've had a good start now. They had the first gun round here of the second half. So how do they build on this performance now?
Well, I think there's going to need to be some motivation coming out from Tobes. I think he's going to need to really talk to Exporalis and Enigma, and get them pumped, right? They just won that round and they did a really good job over towards mid. If that can be a key factor in pushing them and increasing their fragging power and keep it on par with the rest of their team, that's something that's going to be important. I also really want Lancaster to start getting some AWPs out. It's really important on the CT side of almost any map, especially the ones that have a mid position like Cash does, to have really good AWP control of those areas. They're going up against Enzu, who's arguably one of the best AWPers, or at least hybrid players in all of NUEL, so they're going to have some explosive AWP counterparts to try and deal with him. The second thing I'd like to say once again is utility usage, right? Molotovs on the CT side, it can be your best friend, especially in those late time pushes when the clock's ticking down to 30 seconds, 20 seconds, and they're going for a really late execute onto a bomb site. Molotovs can eviscerate that kind of play, especially if Swansea don't have enough smokes available to put them out and rush onto a bomb site.
Of course, that's what teams in the pro scene like Astralis do oh so perfectly. They hold on to their utility. They don't. They more importantly just don't waste it on things that are very low percentage plays. They just, they've done, teams like Astralis do their homework. They know roughly what setups they're going up against, and then they can construct their nade stacks, for example, around that very fact. And that intelligent usage of utility might just be the saving grace here for Lancaster if they can put it into practice. And Swansea, especially on that last grunt round, they started to make mistakes, especially with Fetis having a little bit of an explore towards B with no utility, nothing, just dry peeking everything, and gets punished for it. So Lancaster, they really need to capitalize on those opportunities. They did so in that last round, but they need to do so from this point forwards.
Yeah, if Tobes continues fragging at a high level with that AWP, as we know that he can, if he's assisted by exit properly on the defense, it's really helpful. Like, having a high fragging potential on these defensive areas of these bomb sites is really pivotal in their ability to be able to deal with Swansea, that's for sure. Another thing you're going to need to see from Swansea though is Hazza and Enzu just carrying on what they're already doing, right? Hazza's got 23 kills currently at this point in the game, and Enzu's following him quite tightly with 20 kills himself. So both of these players being really explosive at the moment on Cash, and if they keep doing what they're doing, Lancaster are going to have to come up with something big in order to deal with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Swansea still very much in the driving seat on this particular map, and it's going to be Lancaster that have to be coming from behind to have a chance here in this first map of this best of three. And, coming on towards that CT side, it is a side that many teams prefer if they're not too much of a structured team. When we see the structured teams, we usually talk about their T sides and how disciplined and how organized that they are. Puggy style teams start to shine a little bit more on that CT side. It has to be argued, with the exception of some of the rotations might be a little bit dodgy if the communication isn't there, but we know for a fact for Lancaster that communication is there and that trust will be there on the CT side, that they have each other's backs.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next map as well. I'm really interested to see how Lancaster's CT side does actually hold up against Swansea here. As we mentioned almost countless times now, this is Swansea's map pick. This is where they're most comfortable and they're in home territory. If Lancaster can put up a great performance on the CT side here, even if they don't manage to defeat them, even if they take it to a 16-14 game or an overtime game, it puts them in a really good position going into Overpass next, because we know Swansea are slightly shakier on that map. They haven't had the best performances on there. It took almost a miracle performance from Fetis and assisted by Hazza once again, and Matcha, who's Hazza's doing great so far in this map already, that actually allowed them to defeat Oxford Rooks Vipers on that Overpass map. So
what Swansea need to do is finish off this map in convincing fashion and carry that momentum into a map where they might not be too comfortable in terms of their CT setups, in terms of their T executes as well. There's a lot to be said about the mental game of Counter-Strike. When you're having a good run, you're feeling like everything's going your way, and that can really carry you sometimes through some of the more difficult parts of the game.
Yeah, certainly, especially if it's a map that you're not really so prepared on, especially something like Overpass. If you don't consider it a core map of yours, it can be incredibly tactical. The rotates can be super important on that map, and it's a map where AWPing is really important. I'd say arguably one of the maps where AWPing is the most important out of all of them, right? You've got so many angles where you need a good AWPer to be able to hold and defend against T attacks, so it'll be really interesting to see what goes on that one. But we're still on Cash for now. We've still got the rest of a map to play, and Lancaster, they've shown slight signs of it, right? They've won one full buy round so far. They're going to have to win another one, string some rounds together, build up a good bank, as we were saying in the pre-game. If they do that, then I'm getting confidence in them. Then I'm thinking that they are actually able to go toe-to-toe with Swansea on their own map pick and actually be able to get something done on this map.
Yeah, of course. If you're only just joining us, then it might be a little bit of an interesting situation, but we are under a technical pause right now for issues with one of the Swansea players of Enzu, so we'll get that rectified very, very shortly. But I just have to say, Hazza has been exquisite so far this map. Same with Enzu as well. We talked them big coming through the pre-show, and of course our research that was done beforehand as well, but they've actually managed to make it work so far.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about them being an inexperienced LAN roster. They haven't been to a NUEL finals before. We thought it might be daunting for them, but if anything, they've shown the complete opposite. They've shown a lot of confidence coming in here, going toe-to-toe with Lancaster, who a lot of people considered to be, outside of perhaps the Warwick Stretchy boys, the best roster within the NUEL. They're certainly the second most decorated roster that we've seen recently, and they are no small team to go up against. But this is where you've got to remember, Swansea have defeated those Titan teams. They have defeated Warwick in a best of 3. They have defeated Portsmouth to get here. So they're no stranger to being the underdog in a situation and still managing to come out on top.
And of course, because of that, perhaps might be able to deal with the pressure a lot better than Lancaster are able to. Yes, Lancaster do have the experience behind their core 3, but if they feel they're losing rounds that they should not lose, if they think Swansea are inferior to them and they're on a losing streak, that's when the tilt starts to set in.
Yeah, of course, and you're going to be really irritated in that situation, right? You're thinking, oh, it's a younger roster. They're slightly more inexperienced. We've won this title before. We've come here at LAN before. We've played so well. We've got this core experienced roster that's been playing together for so long, and then all of a sudden, these people that have never made it here before, they're really going toe to toe with you. So maybe that's a factor for Lancaster in that they perhaps weren't expecting the skill of Swansea to be so high. When you consider how close the series that they played were, right? It almost looked like their bracket through, their move through the lower bracket was a really tight fight to get here. It looked at any point they could have been knocked out just about. Really close map wins, 16-14 here, overtime there. But they did make it, and perhaps if you're preparing it for them, to face off against them, you're thinking they only just got here. We are here. We deserve to be here. We've been here before, and maybe they just underestimated Swansea a little bit.
And what a thing it would be for Swansea in their first grand final to actually take the series win here today. That is still very far down the line as far as I'm concerned, especially if we are going to go to a map 3 at the very end of things. But first time in the grand final, we've already discussed it, but it looks like they've been here 5 times before with how they've been playing. It's incredible. They're
certainly very confident. Maybe there's an aspect in their own minds where they're thinking, as we've just said, we've defeated Warwick already. We've defeated Portsmouth already. We've done these two players, these two teams in that we thought would be the favourites to win the tournament. We've already beaten them. What's Lancaster? It's another name that people might consider more experienced than us, but we've done it before. We can do it again on the LAN environment, and they've got their eyes on the prize. Certainly, by the looks of the fire in their bellies coming out into this series, then they want these tickets. They want to get to Cologne, and they want to meet their favourite pros.
Yeah, we will get ourselves back into the game in just a couple of minutes' time, but I'm just impressed with what I've seen so far, especially from Swansea, but we'll get to see if they can actually continue on the great performance they have had here so far on Cash. We do have to remind ourselves that it is their map pick, so this is kind of expected that they would do pretty well, but not as convincingly as we've seen them, but, going out of their comfort zone into those later maps, that is going to be where the true grind starts for Swansea.
I certainly think so. It depends on the Lancaster CT side here. If what we've seen already in this map continues, Swansea probably take Cash here. We head onto an overpass. That's Lancaster's playground there. Things get switched up. They maybe take the advantage in that one, maybe take the map, and then we end up on that all-important third, that crucial decider. And that's where things really come down to crunch time. That's when the pressure starts to build. It's no longer like, oh, we might 2-0 defeat them in this round, but it does look like we are back into this game, and things are going in the favour of Lancaster once again in this. As we've seen, they had to go for a partial bite after the loss in the last one. So Lancaster really showing they're not out of it just yet. Next round, I think, is going to be the true test for them. It's going to be another full bye that they're going to have to go up against, and it'll be interesting to see whether one of these Lancaster players actually decides to throw one of these rifles away, should all of them stay alive, and elect to go for that AWP.
Yeah, definitely a big question. Of course, Swansea with the severe man disadvantage here in this situation. Just waiting for any aggressive pushes from the CTs to come through to give them a pretty easy frag, and then maybe they can work themselves back into the round. But the thing is, Lancaster aren't giving them an inch right now. All very static in their positions around the map. No presence being shown towards Hazard. Experalis has his number if he decides to push towards the highway position. Wheelness able to find the frag onto Atomical, and now it's Hazard versus 5. I mean, we've been talking big about him, but I don't really rate his chances against 5 Lancaster players.
I certainly think he's just going to have to save this rifle here. He's only got $1,300 in the bank account himself. The rest of his team aren't looking too great with the loss bonus, so they are going to be able to go for a full buy into the next one by the looks of things. And it's the scenario I was hypothesizing has actually, come to fruition in this one. All 5 players from Lancaster look like they are going to actually stay alive going into the rest of this round, and we're just going to have a little bit of time to run down on the clock here. So decisions for Swansea Storm Green. What do they decide to do in the next one? Lancaster have actually started to put up a bit of a stonewall defence across every portion of the map. Swansea haven't really been able to gain very much map control outside of B&A main. Mid's almost been off the cards every single round despite getting players up onto that boost. So they're going to have a discussion now in this pre-game and decide what strat they are going to go with in this round.
We will get the AKs back out there for Swansea. Good bit of utility going their way, not the maximum. Of course, Face is going to be struggling in that particular department. Lancaster, no such issues for them, though. They do not actually have an AWP on the server right now, so Topes just having to sell with that AUG and Topes. Well, he's going to get tagged down to 92 pretty early on as the utility flies in towards mid, but Hazard is able to find the opening, and Enzu finds one of his own on towards Topes. So that is a fantastic play there from the Swansea players. Cracking that mid open gives them a huge amount of options here to attack either one of the 2 bomb sites. Enigma holding passive in towards Z, tries to peek up towards the vent, but not going to spot out Enzu just yet. But Swansea, that seems so simple for them with that utility flying in towards mid. They're able to find the 2 frags pretty easy.
It's a really interesting decision from Enzu, actually. I don't know if you noticed it, but a player was in sandbags and got eliminated by one of Enzu's teammates, but he still repeated the position. He didn't leave anything out of disregard. He fully expected Lancaster to potentially put a second player there. Usually that can be the downfall of pushes like this, so it's really interesting to see that he's got, the presence of mind to actually be able to check these positions. And Enzu, we're just talking about him. He's got his second kill in style for this round, as Enigma is going to have to wait for his teammate to try and do anything, but it's a 2 versus 5 retake. The bomb is just going down now, but they're going to get found out soon. It's going to be very difficult for them to be able to save these weapons going into the next round.
Yeah, very difficult indeed, especially when you have Atomical in the back lines trying to spray down, but whiffs it a little bit onto Wheelness. But the thing is, Hazard is here to try and recover and try and deny those saved weapons for Lancaster. But Enigma, he's not going to go down without a fight here. Molotov's off of Z, decides to push even further up towards Heaven then. Not going to get aggressed on just yet. Enigma running straight into the bullets of Enzu there. And that is going to be no rifle saved into the next round for the CT side of Lancaster. Yeah,
it looks like whatever Swansea Storm Green talked about during that technical pause has worked out well for them. 13-7 now. They are 3 rounds away from taking cash their map pick. Hazard now on 25 kills and Enzu on 23. They're really leading the way, and here we go. This is what I said might be the crucial ingredient to Lancaster's ability to defend the areas of these bomb sites. What an awesome boost over here. This could be incredible should it work out. It doesn't look like they are going to get aggressed in the necessary areas though, but a double up setup could be just what the doctor ordered in terms of Lancaster being able to keep themselves in this game.
Hazard was just about to pick into it. Experalis finds him over the top of the smoke. Fantastic stuff and good patience there from Experalis to not drop off that boost too early. He just stuck with it, knew the timings on the smoke, and he's able to find the opening pick here in round 21. Still mid control going the way of Swansea though, but Lancaster, they do have the numbers advantage. Experalis, he lands the tag onto Enzu. That gives Enzu a chance to get the kill, and now Wheelness all on his own on that A bomb site. Enigma trying to help but can't do anything. Actually gets a kill after the fact from the grave with the fire. Now Exit heading his way up towards Car. He does have the support of Tobes, perhaps to push up through Highway, but he is neutralized right now because of the smoke. So Exit all alone, perhaps just has to wait, finds the player of Matcha playing the forklift, tags him down to 23 HP. Exit out on towards the site now, can take the 1v1 with Ferris at the quad position, but that is a very quick cleanup there for Swansea, and now they have 14, just one round away from getting very, very many map points.
Really unfortunate for Exit there, just that he doesn't have any damage dealing utility. He had 2 flashbangs, but he didn't have any HEs or Molotovs. Had he had one of those, he really could have caused trouble for the player holding up Forklift. Could have dealt with him almost immediately after he tagged him down to low health, or if he had a Molotov, at the very least forced him to peak. So now they're going to be stuck on a pistol force buy, and it's really looking dangerous now. They haven't got the tools necessary to deal with Swansea in this round, as Enzu and Hazard and Atomical, all 3 of them getting in the opening trades, and it looks like Swansea Storm Green are heading straight for map point.
Yeah, Experalis just teasing a little bit behind the smoke, might peek out and catches Atomical with the wrong weapon in hand. Experalis able to get himself an AK, but the thing is that was just the lurker there, because Swansea, they're starting to edge themselves towards B and they won't meet with any resistance at all. So a free bomb site gained here for Swansea as they search for their map points, and well, they've just been tagged down a good amount there. Fedis down to 71, Enzu down to 32, so still soft targets perhaps here for Lancaster. They might just decide to go for this. It all depends how fast they get this opening pick here. Enigma just playing behind the smoke with that Deagle, waiting for any aggressive push to come through from the Swansea side. And Enzu might just take the bait here. He's heading his way through. The flash is good, but he doesn't look at the right angle at the right time. Enigma finds 2 with the Deagle, and now he has an AK with the armor required, but no kick to his name means that he simply doesn't have enough time to find both frags and the defuse as well. So that'll be an AK save for Lancaster, but it'll be Swansea up to 15.
Yeah, look at the money left in the bank for Lancaster right now. We are now heading into what potentially could be the last round of this map, and Lancaster don't have any money to play with. Look, 24.50 on Tobes, 25.50 on Exit, 24.50 on Wilnius, and the player with an AK nearly gets tagged down with a spray over towards CT. So they're really going to have to buy everything, you know, strip everything out, everything including the kitchen sink, get it out there, get it on the battlefield, and just do whatever you can. MP9 coming out as an SMG is not the weapon you want in these situations. A scout as well and 2 Deagles. It's looking really rough for them. I think Lancaster at this point, their mind's on overpass, especially when Enzu's just getting wall bangs with an AWP like that. Oh my word, Lancaster are certainly now, I think their brains are firmly in overpass on what they're going to do on that map.
It might just be it with that frag going the way of Swansea. Can Lancaster pull it back? It'll be the comeback of all comebacks if they're able to make this one work. And Enzu getting tagged down pretty low, down to 12 HP. One more body shot with that Deagle will do. So Enzu will hit the ground. Advantage still going the way of Swansea here. 3 players left alive for Lancaster, but they're all towards, well, 2 of them towards this A side of the map. Wheelness able to find one with the MP9. He can be an absolute nuisance here. Bomb is on his sights as well. Enigma peeks out into the fire and flames, and Haz is able to find both of them to make that A bomb site open. Exit in the 1 versus 3 to give Lancaster an outside chance at taking this map. Bomb plant will go down. That's Exit now on a timer with the AWP. He just has to go for this. There's no saving the AWP in this situation. He spots one, drop peeking at quad, but that's the information given away to the Swansea side. They will take the first map here in the grand finals.
Well, they have done it. You know, we said they were really strong on this map. We said Cash was going to be the main weapon in Swansea's arsenal, and we've just seen exactly why. They've shown us a masterclass in both the T side and CT side there on Cash. Almost cleaned up Lancaster, 16-7, incredibly dominant scoreline. You know, you usually say it's a really solid victory when your opponents don't get double digits in terms of the rounds they've gained against you. So Lancaster now, their mindset's going to be firmly on overpass. They're going to be thinking about what they're doing there and how they can halt this Swansea advance, because Swansea now have taken the first map and they're 1 map away from being our NUEL Spring 2019 champions.
It was incredibly convincing for Swansea as well. There were no really huge glaring errors. There were a couple of mistakes here and there by individual players, but as a team, they were always making the right calls, always had each other's backs with the crossfires and the double peaks on that CT side as well. It was just absolutely brilliant to see from them. That's the exact start they needed here in the grand final. And as we prepare for that map 2 of Overpass going on to Lancaster's map pick, well, we'll have Overpass in just a couple of moments' time, just after this.
An incredibly aggressive position towards mid. I don't think they're going to expect. Oh, Nora!
Hands, it's a 1 versus 2 now for Jacob, and he's only just getting himself the bomb plant down. So this gives plenty of time for Swansea Storm Green to think about how they want to manage this retake. Jacob's going to get aggressive with it. Aerostratus will hit the ground, and now Jacob with the AWP, he wins it for Warren.
Enzo coming from behind. He's got the USB, one shot to the head, one kill. He finds two, finds three. What is going on? 1 versus 2, pushing onto the site. Now they're both round the same angle. Haas, he falls as well. There's one on short. Enzo, is he going to be able to do this? Pushing around, aware where he is behind sandbags. He's going to be peeking out. Is finding Bensky. Finds his head. What on earth, Enzo?
That is unbelievable. I mean,
and Enzo, all by his lonesome here, picks up the deagle. Can he find something with this? We've seen him hit shots before. He's coming around the left side, ring around the roses. I've got bullets for your faces. Last kill there is available for Enzo. 6 HP on this player. Valele still there at full. The call just came through. Oh my god, Enzo! Oh my god. Enzo. This man is a god.
Hello everyone and welcome back to NUEL Live and the CSGO University Championship here live from the Red Bull Gaming Sphere in London. We have Swansea Storm Green and of course Lancaster University battling it out on the server here today, and we've just had the first map of Cash as well. Swansea taking their map pick in pretty convincing fashion indeed, but now we get to look forward to Overpass. I am Raptros and with me on the cast it is Protalis. What a first map.
Yeah, it was an absolutely incredible performance there from Swansea. They're on home territory, but God, did they let us know it. 16-7 scoreline, absolutely dominant. Hazza and Enzu both turning up in a big way, both of them hitting those mid to high 20s in terms of their fragging scores on that one. And now we are going to be heading on to Overpass. This is Lancaster's map pick. We know that Swansea have looked a little bit shaky on this map in the past, so perhaps this is Lancaster's chance to get back into the series, and should we end up there, it is going to be Mirage left over on this decider, and I really do hope we get there, because if we do, that is going to be an absolute brawl.
And we did hype up Mirage on the pre-show because both of these teams very, very competent at that map indeed. But before we get to that point, it has to be Lancaster to win on Overpass. And we were just talking about a little bit about this during the little break that we had. And you said that Lancaster, they need to pull something special out here because they were just dominated on Cash.
I'm going to really need to see an aggressive and powerful early start from Lancaster on this map if I want confidence that we go into a third one, to be honest. This is their pick. They should have the strats for it. They should have the advantages ready, but still, what they're showing on Cash wasn't up to par with some of the teams I've seen face off against Swansea on Cash. Yes, Swansea is Swansea's most comfortable map. You're expecting them to win it, but in a much closer fashion than they actually did for me. So Lancaster really need to get out the floodgates early, get those opening rounds. You know, even if they don't win the pistol, okay, from round 3 onwards, they need to start stringing rounds together for me, be effective, and I'm going to need to see some, you know, more fragging power from everyone on that roster. A couple of players in that last map, they were lagging behind a little bit in terms of fragging potential, low on that kill scoreboard, so we're really going to need them to turn up in a big way if they're going to be able to defeat Swansea here and take it to a third map.
Expralis and Enigma not really showing up on Cash, but what can they do here on Overpass? That is the big question. Multiple players need to step up for that Lancaster side. We'll be going into the first pistol round of the second map here of this grand final for the NUEL Spring Split at the Red Bull Gaming Sphere in London. Swansea Storm Green going to start themselves off on that CT side with the aggressive push from Enzu. He's all alone on this side of the map. It's an early B-sided stack here for Swansea, and Lancaster, they're going to run straight into this one. Fairs is able to get the delay smoke down, gives him a little bit more room to work with, and Match is able to find the frag, but the thing is, it's going to be traded out both ways there for Lancaster. It's an absolute brawl here on this B-bomb site, but Lancaster can't get that bomb anywhere near the site right now. Hazard on top of the barrels, trying to tap away at Expralis, but Exit, he's been able to find 2 frags. Can he find the final one? No, it's Matcha now in the 1 versus 2. He finds Tobes as well, tapping away Expralis. Oh, he's down so low. He only needs 1 more body shot here. Does Matcha, he's run out of ammo. He has to run and pick out another gun. But the thing is, Expralis, oh, he had half a mind to go back towards A. But the thing is, he now has changed his mind. Perhaps no. He's now going to go back towards A. But what a brawl in that B-bomb site. And now, Expralis, he has the option to go A, and he has planting on top of the truck. He gives him a huge amount of time to work with here, because Matcha, he has to run all the way there, and he only has 2 HP to his name as well.
I couldn't believe it. Matcha completely run out of ammo there. No ammo at all in his gun or in the reserve ammunition. He had to run around that pillar with nothing. He couldn't take that fight, and I think Expralis just became aware of that just towards the end. That's why he was trying to do that repeat and come back over towards B. It's left Matcha on 2 HP now, a really weak position to try and retake from, but both of these players, they've got such low HP. It could be 1 bullet each, potentially. This could be the difference, especially if a headshot lands properly. Matcha is going to have to find out exactly where Expralis is. Oh, he's got the defuse kit. Expralis is coming up. Is there time? He's going to come round just in time. He does manage to eliminate Matcha on that defuse, so despite a very nice triple kill from him, the round is going to go the way of Lancaster, and is this the start of that aggressive, early, powerful play that I said Lancaster need to show on this map?
It was a very shaky round there for Lancaster. When you saw that B-sided stack come out for Swansea, you would have thought that, you know, Lancaster, their chances in this round are minimal at best, running into 4 players on that B-bomb site, but they're able to manage to make it work. And the positioning worked in their favor as well, having that option to quickly go towards the A side of the map. But onto this round now, Swansea down onto a couple of upgraded pistols here and there. You got a grenade there on Face that might be able to do some utility damage here, but Lancaster giving a lot of respect here to the interesting buy from Swansea, not buying up too far, preferring to save into the next one and get perhaps a couple of rifles out there. So Lancaster, again, taking it very slow and methodical here early on in this round. Finally, esports will take contact with Enzu there, but Enigma gets the first frag of the round. And Lancaster, the methodical approach seems to be working.
Yeah, really good at cleaning out all of those angles, taking it nice and slowly, earning that map control. And Exit just really dealing with Hazard nice and quickly there. He only had the pistol to defend with, but still. Enzu now pushing over towards Connector. Could actually be a little bit of an issue if he catches these players off guard quick enough. Isn't going to be though, as Fetis is going to have to hide behind those barrels. Not going to find very much. It's matchup with the Deagle though. Enzu's got another kill in the flank, so things are still looking a little bit dangerous. Enzu's now got an AK. We know he can do a lot of work with it, but it's not going to probably get that much done, as he may decide to rotate away now. Keep that AK, bring it into the next round and use it as a tool that he can assist his team with as we head into the third round of this map.
Despite being on these eco rounds, Swansea still feeling fairly confident that they can get the frags, but Enzu will be denied that save AK right at the end of that particular round. As you can see a view of the players here at the Red Bull Gaming Sphere. Lancaster, 2 rounds on the board, the exact start that they needed here on this second map, on their map pick, and looking to bring it to a third map of Mirage. The guns are out for both sides. Utility good for Lancaster, mixed to bad for the CT side right now, as, oh well, Lancaster, they are not going to lie in wait this time. Hazard having to do a spray down there, but he's only able to find one. The trades have come through, Enzo's able to find 2. Atomical can't find any more. It's a 2 versus 2 situation, but bomb control is with the CT side right now. Lancaster, they have to recover that one back. Enzo has done so much work here to gain this advantage for his side.
It's really confusing. It's another tight round. It's really brawl intensive, and they are going to go for a counter boost over towards short. This could work absolutely perfectly if it is executed well, but no! Enzu expects it and gets the headshot there. He's left the Enigma alone now, and known his position is. And well, what's he got to do now? He's got to push 2 players defending the bomb. He's got to land 2 swift headshots, and Matcher's going to be the first man. He's got to find, but he does somehow. Enzu now left in the 1 versus 1, but he is actually flanking him over towards short. I really don't think Enigma is going to be aware of this just yet. He's clearing out every angle except the one that Enzu's holding. No. He's gone for the wrong smoke there, and Enzu, with a quad kill, manages to close out that round.
Just falling foul to not having no information there on Enzu's position. And if he had an inkling, then maybe he could have hidden that cubby and just let him walk all the way back around and shoot him in the back of the head. But, you know, we have the luxury that the players don't of seeing everything that goes on this map. But that will be the first round on the board there for the Swansea side. On their CT side, winning out the first gun round, very important there. It has forced Lancaster down onto Deagle and Glocks is going to be the order of the day here, but how much damage can they do with the inferior weaponry? Atomical looking to make some bank, but he can't find any of them with that auto shotgun. esports, how is he still alive there? He has 2 players spraying at him. He's able to pick up the shotgun now, but pushing further. Enzu will try to clean them up, pulls out the USP, finds the 3rd as well, but oh, that could have gone so wrong there for Swansea in the right circumstances, and Hazard, well, they're starting to clean up now, but again, you can't be having those heart-racing moments when it comes to that connector position. Exit. Oh, he's able to find 2! How is this turned once again? Exit with 2 frags, but the thing is still no bomb control going his way. Enzu there, very low. Can he pick up the bomb from that range? He can. Oh, he's not got it just yet. Enzu trying to bait him out here. Exit, he needs to land at least a body shot here, and that will be Enzu taking out the equation. But a well-timed push there from Macho will make sure that he doesn't go too crazy in that particular round. But some of these 4 spies, man.
Another really messy round there, back-to-back. Aim duels going just absolutely both ways. Somehow that Deagle play comes out, and it ends up being really effective. Actually eliminates 3 of the T players on what was CT players rather, on what was effectively an eco round for the side of Lancaster. So they did a really good job in that one in terms of dealing economical damage. And now you can see it. They've got the AKs and 1 Galil ready to do the work. And they are going to head over towards B again, but Hazard, he's turned up big with a double kill over towards short, and Wilnius is going to trade Enzu out over towards another area, but still Swansea have a slight advantage, or they did before Tobes got involved. left it in a 3 versus 3 now.
Fantastic find there from Tobes, brings it level in terms of the players still left on the server, but Ferris, he's been able to find the bomb there. Tobes can hold the angle over it. Exferales being aggressive, he has to if he wants to get that bomb back. And now next on the hit list perhaps might be Wheelness. The Molotov onto the bomb will delay things somewhat, but Wheelness now in the 1 versus 3. He does have 2 players on the other side that are very low, so very susceptible to body shots. Wheelness, of course, not really a player known for going for those headshots, perhaps. There's maybe a slight little bit of a burn there, but Wheelness now, what can he do? Bomb not recover. He walks straight past it, tries to catch Ferris off guard, and he does. And now Hazard left on the site, very low indeed. Matcher though with a grenade, careful not to tag his teammate there. That would have been a bit of an awkward situation. Wheelness still going for this one. The flash over, it's not going to affect things too much, but he's still able to find the frag on towards Hazard. But the thing is, Matcher now up in the heavens. Might just have a fate spell there for Wheelness. He will hit the ground, and that will be another round going the way of Swansea.
Well, a triple kill there is a really good effort from him in the total round overall. He was left in a 1 versus 3 situation and did manage to eliminate 2 of those players. And again, these rounds, you know, they are really, you know, brawl style. The trade's going back and forth. The scoreline's 3-2, but I'd say Lancaster are actually coming out on top despite being 1 round behind, because the CT economy, it's so much more important that they preserve their guns, they keep their economy healthy, because as soon as Lancaster get a couple of rounds together, then that's when things start getting dangerous. And Enzu's got it all to do now. They're all pushing against him. He's got 4 kills with that MP9, and Fetis cleans it up over towards the playground. And okay, they were anti-eco kills, but still he did a great job at racking up all 4 of those.
Absolutely brilliant. So with the MP9 as well, that's a fantastic amount of money going into his bank account as well. And he might just end up actually keeping it here in this situation. He does have enough money, exactly enough money, to get himself an AWP, but deciding against it for now, taking this as a little bit of a bonus round for himself, despite the AK8 on the other side. And now Lancaster, short control gains. We've seen Hazard on the CT side be aggressive coming through here. Not so this time, and Wheelness able to find the opening frag onto Enzu. So that's a frag that you simply have to find. Neutralize the star player for Swansea early, gives yourself a better chance.
I really don't think Lancaster, they're going over towards this B-bomb site once again, and I don't think they've tried an honest hard A attack at all yet so far in this map. They're really saving their strategies for the A-bomb site, at least until the latter part of this half. Wheelness has already eliminated Enzu though, so they are in a favourable position to attack any bomb site they want, as now the CTs do have to draw off a couple of players towards each bomb site, but they haven't actually done that. They are leaving somebody over towards Heaven, who is now rotated over towards A to defend that bomb site. So this B site attack is looking like it could be really effective should they choose to do it, but I think Lancaster, they're umming and ahhing a little bit. They haven't made a decision as to where they want to commit to. Yes, the bomb is outside Monster, but it hasn't made any attempts at getting aggressive. I think it's going to all be down to Exit's ability to find an entry on this bomb site, which will make the decision of whether they decide to attack here.
Here we go, Lancaster utility used, Hazard will burn alive, Atomical trying to hold the site down, finds one, finds a tag as well. That's a frag there for Fedes, directly onto the head there of Toes, gets one in the fire as well. 2 versus 2 situation, bomb down in a bit of an awkward position here for Lancaster. They have to cross the entirety of Monster, try and get it. The boost is good there from Fedes, brings it down to a 2 versus 1 situation now, with Wheelness being the only player left alive here for Lancaster, but he's running out of time. He only has 8 seconds left on the clock. He has to hop back, get the bomb, but the thing is, he runs directly into Matcher, but that has done just enough. He can't get the bomb plant down, and that's Swansea winning a round.
That is some excellent game sense there from Fetis holding from Heaven. He knows, even though the bomb plant was faked, which might make you expect, oh, he had just enough time to plant, I can peek him now and get that kill. That was the plan from Wheelness, to try and force him to peek into him, but Fetis knew exactly there's absolutely no time left for him. There's no way he's getting that bomb down, so he just held that passive angle, did what he needed to do to win that round. And look at this scoreline. This is Lancaster's pick, and we thought that they'd come out swinging with those 2 early rounds, but, you know, Swansea now, they're on a 5-2 scoreline. They're leading 3 rounds up on the CT side of Overpass, which is probably the slightly easier side on this map, but they're once again going up a Lancaster force buy, and the B bomb site's getting hammered once again.
Yeah, out towards B, but will it be in vain once again here on the upgraded pistols? Atomical pulling out an upgraded pistol of his own, and actually able to find one in that situation with the P250, but Lancaster, still 2 players left alive, but not much hope left. In this particular round, you have to argue. Exit has himself an AK. The grenade might do a bit of damage here to Fedes if it lands in the correct position. tags him down to 47 HP. Still 2 players on this B bomb site here for Swansea Storm Green, so it's definitely possible that Lancaster can find them and get the bomb plant through. But Exit creeping his way around, takes off the head there of Ferris, but taking fast rotations have come through. Hazza from up above once again, and now Tobes in the 1 versus 3. He doesn't even know where to look in this situation. Such a disciplined play from the short player of Enzu as well, just waiting for the information to be given from his teammate up towards heaven, and then that will be his opportunity to peek out and get the trade back. Well played so far from the CT side, not giving Tobes a shooting gallery to go ham with that AWP. But do they expect this sort of play, though? Pushing up close. Matcha might be in trouble from the no-scope there, but again, a well-timed peek there from Enzu. It just seems like he just knows all of the timings anywhere on this map.
That looked like a 400 IQ play from my perspective. Matcha, it looks like he's jumping away, trying to peek and get information, but what I think he's actually doing there is deliberately making the sound to try and draw Tobes into the trap there, make him go aggressive with that AWP, and then Enzu reads it perfectly, communicates with his teammate, and just wraps around and gets the kill from behind. That was, I think, a really superb passage of play there from the Swansea side. Absolutely rushed through, and Hazza, it's almost like a replay of what we saw in the Oxford Brooks Vipers series. An excellent flash coming out, and it allows a triple kill spray down to come out from him. And well, Lancaster, surely now they're thinking they've got to attack the A bomb site. The B is just not working out for them.
This is a gun round from Lancaster. It wasn't an eco rush through monster. They all had armor, they all had AKs, they all had the utility to use, but Hazza just knocking them all down, and Lancaster in dire straits now, it has to be argued. Nothing has gone right for them so far this matchup, and Experalis up against 5 popping off Swansea players. Oh, it's such a tough situation to be in. He's getting closed in on from behind as well. Swansea Storm Green just playing with their food at this stage. Experalis has absolutely nowhere to go unless he can pull off a Guardian here in one of those ESL tournaments, but you can't do it at all. Oh, what are we seeing?
We're seeing Swansea absolutely asserting their dominance on this map so far, especially in these latter parts of the round. You know, they're getting the opening kills, right? They're getting that early triple kill spray down. They're getting a couple of opening frags here and there, leaving it in, you know, a 5 versus 3, 5 versus 2 situation. But then they're not giving Lancaster any space. They're immediately wrapping around, closing them in, and just absolutely dealing with the perfectly.
Oh, Hazza at the A-bomb site, at the B-bomb site, it doesn't matter, he's able to find the multi-frags, and Matcha will sort out Enigma as well. Lancaster, well, they've got themselves back an AK here onto Wilnius, flashing himself out. He just, again, I know it was a sort of pistol buy coming out for Lancaster, but still, it seems like Swansea just reading them like a book. And now Ferris with that AUG. Gonna be pushing his way up long. Perhaps gonna stab Lancaster in the back here. Wheelness is not looking at us. He does creep his way around the archway and able to find himself down through connector, so Ferris won't have any frags being fed to his AUG just yet. But it's still on 1 on each bomb site here for the CT side. So definitely an inroad into this round here for Lancaster. If they're able to find Atomical, who's playing at a pretty tough AWP angle here, has to land the flex if they wide peek, but Wheelness tight to the angle, straight into the AWP, and Experalis now. Oh, he manages to get himself out there. He has the bomb on his back as well. Tries to take the deal with Atomical. Atomical with that utility. Experalis now pushing up close. Knows exactly where Atomical is, but can he win the duel with that AWP? He can't. And it's going to be another round to Swansea. This is... I didn't expect this.
Neither did I at all. You know, the last few times that we've seen Swansea play on this map, it's been really tight for them. They've had a tough time on it. It clearly shows to me that they've gone away in the break between the last series they played against Oxford Brooks Vipers and the LAN finals here today, and they've drilled everything. They've drilled Cash, they've drilled Mirage, and, well, probably they've drilled Mirage, but they've definitely drilled Overpass. They're looking absolutely incredible on it. 8-2 opening scoreline. Really pulled away. They've already secured the round advantage for the end of the half, and we've still got 4 rounds left to go.
Decent utility but now is being done there to the Swansea side, and finally they're forced back off of A. But is it a change of tack here for the Lancaster side? It certainly seems a more A-sided approach. They do have control of connector though, so they do have options here as Swansea fall back into their passive positioning. But this grenade from Enzo, if he spots out Wheelness here, if he spots that door, and when that smoke dissipates, perhaps then maybe, spots that door open, excuse me, then he'll just throw that nade in, and Wheelness probably will end up taking it to the face here. But not going to happen just yet. 55 seconds left in the round. Just damage being done to both sides, but no players falling just yet. Fetis. Experalis, he's going to go for the jump, but he will be spotted out. And now Fetis, he can't win the gunfight. Experalis finds one on long. Is that the opening that Lancaster need?
Look at the rotations there already. The movement that came out from Swansea so quickly. It's like somebody kicked a hornet's nest. They were absolutely buzzing around the map. They've changed their positioning quite a lot, and this might actually be the time where we see the A bomb site execute come in. Our dreams may be coming true. A lot of players are rushing onto this bomb site now.
Yeah, Hazza once again with the AUG, but it will be Enzu to open things up on this site. Defense rated back by Esperalis, but Enzu finds one more. Finally gets put in the ground by Realness. Still man advantage going the way of the T side. Match just hanging out behind this smoke, gets re-smoked, but does he have a gap to use? It looks like a slither, but no one's peeking that way just yet. Esperalis very well aware of the fact that Match could push through this one. Also has the angle on towards Garbage as well. They've got the toilets positioning as well, so this is a very tough site for Swansea to retake, but it's Matcha against 3. 2 players for Lancaster very low. He does decide to go for it. If he finds Experalis, this is much more possible. Both players on single digits in terms of their HP, but not going to happen there for Matcha. Lancaster finally making an impact in this game, but is it too little too late here on this T side at least?
Well, we're going to have to see for that. I definitely think in that last round, I would have liked to see a little bit of a better usage of that Molotov that he had. Obviously, he may not have known that the 2 Lancaster players were quite so low, but if it's thrown towards a different angle, it could have eliminated one of those players from the gunfight before he even actually has to push anywhere. He did a good job securing that opening kill, but ultimately, the crossfire setup there from Lancaster was just too strong, and it looks like they're going to be relying on their old faithful B-site attack strategy, as they've sent almost everyone over towards this B-bomb site, and the one person they sent over towards A-long was eliminated by Enzu's AWP. So as things gear up now for a B-site attack. Exit's opened up here. Atomical going to have to do some big work, but Tobes eliminates him, and now it's going to be on Swansea for the retake.
Atomical needs to be finding at least one there. They all lined up for him, but simply wasn't able to knock them down. And now the plant has come through here for Lancaster. Finally, they find an advantage on that B bomb site, but Hazza pushing his way through now. Expects perhaps Wheelness, but the thing is, the door opening is just Wheelness's cue to execute him in the back of the head. And now, matchup against 4. I think the safe call's going to come through here. Swansea's economy is not in the state to continue. Matcher, though, aggressive with the save angle here. Here's Tobes coming through, and that's going to be a rifle out of the hands of the T side. Bomb too far gone, no kit to the name of Matcher right now. Just saves that AWP and gets the hell out of there.
Yeah, it's very vital that Matcher actually does manage to save that AWP, because 2 of his players had $0 in their bank account as they headed into the next one. Look at it, Hazza and Atomical on $1,900 each, so there's going to have to be some communication as to what the buy strategy is going to be in this round. Lancaster finally starting to show up on their map pick. They're really starting to show things that, the T side, they've had a few little troubles trying to work things out early on, but now they're starting to win rounds together. If they can string a good, decent few rounds together, they can prove that they're still in this one yet. All they have to do is win 3 more rounds in this half, and it's actually really balanced heading into their CT side. So
Enigma completely executing there, Atomical, but there's the flash through for Wheelness, and Wheelness finding frags, exit, everyone chiming in pretty much for that Lancaster side. This time the rush onto the B-bomb site, worked, but hasn't worked in previous rounds, but still, Lancaster finding themselves their footing in this game, you could argue now, and Matcher, once again, taking the responsibility to save that AWP into the next round. But Lancaster, after deciding to pressure that A side of the map a lot more, they're starting to put the question inside of Swansea's head that they do have to be concerned about positions like Connector and towards that A site as well. So they can't keep this very strong hold on B like they have been doing in rounds previous.
Well, part of the reason I think that this round did go in the favour of Lancaster for that B-site rush was simply that Swansea's economy wasn't there. They didn't have any rifles to defend with. They didn't have those perfectly timed flashes that have been allowing Hazza to get those multiple kills with the rifles. He's only been able to use a pistol in that round. The rest of the players on that B-bomb site only had those weapons as well. And you saw immediately, as soon as Lancaster got control of that bomb site, Matcher was out of there. He knew immediately that this AWP is going to be way more useful in the next round than it's going to be in this one. They are going to bring it over here. I don't know whether they are probably going to go for a 4-buy into this one. Yep, so 2 Augs and 2 M4s picked with just a little bit of utility left over. Only 1 Molotov and 2 HEs in terms of damage dealing utility. But Matcha, he's trying to find something over towards the lower party area, but you just can't quite see anybody, as now Lancaster are going to push out and won what looks to be potentially a split kind of round as they slowly but surely make their way over to Fountain and just make sure that nobody's hiding in any little crevices that's going to get an early pick and really disrupt their flow at the start of this round.
Flash comes through on Long. Double flash actually for Exit. His teammates helping him to clear out that particular angle, but the thing is, we've got Enzu, potent as ever. Long toilets position. Exit flashed off the angle briefly. Enzu getting one to the face as well, and the flash. Oh, that was good there from Exit, peeking with his flashbang, forcing Enzu to look away and peeking right behind it. It's a very risky play sometimes, but managed to make it work that time around. But the thing is, here's the push all the way through B. Swansea Storm Green, they might stab Lancaster in the back here. They are able to find Wheelness, but he's able to get away. That's the cue now for Lancaster to perhaps try to pick up the pace here, out one towards this A bomb site. But has been able to find one on the defense. Pettis looking for the cross as these players try to edge their way out the smoke. But the thing is, the entries are there for Lancaster, and they win the round on the attack of the A bomb site.
That was a really unfortunate round there for Swansea. You know, they had the great idea with that flank. It could have gone so well, but unfortunately they failed to eliminate that first player in time. He only takes a little bit of damage and can fall back and then tell the rest of the teammate, you know, hey guys, I know what they're doing now. There are 2 players pushing me over towards A short. So after that, they know that there just can't be enough resources left to defend the A bomb site properly. Fetis unfortunately doesn't eliminate those crossing players.
Oh, here we
go. Here we go with another B rush from them, and this time it works out on the full buys. This is the last round of this half, and it looks like Lancaster, they have remained competitive. Remember, this scoreline was something like 8-2, 8-3 in favour of Swansea at one point, and now, oh my word, Hazard, he's gone so mental. Manages to find 2 with that UMP, but Lancaster do end up closing it out for the half there as we do head up into the half-time break. Switching over, scores on the doors, Enzu on 17, and the highest fragger for Lancaster being Exit on 14 HP there.
But the second half might just be a different story. But Lancaster, they suffered hugely in the sort of first half of the half. So I guess the first quarter of the match is the way I'll phrase that one. But they're able to bring it back almost near enough level into the second half. That sets them up really, really well here for their CT side, which is, of course, the preferred side here on Overpass usually. But what is going to be the strategy here for Swansea? They're stacked all of their players up towards Connector. They have Hazard leading the charge there, but here comes the push for Lancaster. They found 3 players up in towards the water position. Tobes is here as well. It seems like everyone is trying to fight over Connector, but the fight's going the way of the Lancaster side. They take no casualties. Enigma down to 1 HP. Wheelness on 2 HP. But they stay alive and on the server and can make an impact, especially if they get the first headshots. Bomb plant going to come through for Swansea, though. They'll take that as a little bit of a win here. Trade it out. As Tobes and Exit getting frags. It's now in the 1 versus 4. Tags Express down to 3 HP. These Lancaster players so low, but simply too much there for Fetis. Bomb plant down for Swansea, but it's not the second pistol round win that they wanted.
This is the issue now if you're a Swansea fan, is that Lancaster seem to have woken up in the second part of that second half, and they are now on the CT side. This is the easier side on Overpass to be able to hold. They can do so much more. If you're a tactical team and you're drilled on Overpass, you're going to have, I think, way more knowledge of CT side setups and how to conquer and counteract T side aggression. And the scoreline's tied up 8-8 now. They've strung a lot of rounds together, have Lancaster, and well, Swansea's economy isn't going to be great after losing that pistol. They did win the, they did get the bomb plant though, but they are still, they've gone for the full buy. I'm really perplexed as to why teams decide to do this when they could just have way more weapons and utility in the next one, and you know, with potentially they can still take Deagles into this round, right? And they can still have full rifles, armor, and utility in the next one, especially after getting a bomb plant. So they're going to have to come out big here. But Hazard and Matcha, the 2 men on the AK, they were the 2 players that really allowed them to come back into things against Oxford Rooks Vipers on this map. So they're going to need to turn up big in this round with those big guns if they want to be able to crack into a bomb site.
They do. AKs on Hazard and Matcha. 2 big fraggers here for the Swansea side on the big boy guns. Haven't been able to make them work so far in the first half of this particular round. Under a minute remaining. Monster smoke down. SMG's playing close up behind that smoke to punish any aggression through them. Good utilization of the weaponry that Lancaster have right now. Swansea spread out in their defaults, trying to work a pick here, and here comes Hazard. The flashbang forces him off, but I think that was the sound kill cue given away there as he tried to run back through Monster. So Lancaster do know his position. The next flash will come through, but Hazard survives, and he's able to find the head of Enigma. Oh, that's gone oh so wrong, and now Swansea, they can go on for the full-on assault here on this B bomb site. Do Lancaster have anything to defend here on the CT side? Swansea trying to work their way out. Vex has got himself towards the side. Bomb plant can come through. Player drops out of heaven. That is going to be Exit working his way around. He's able to find Atomical. Wheelness finds Fetis as well, and now it's Enzu in the 1 versus 2 here. Finds Exit. Next up on the list will be Wheelness, but does he go aggressive? He waits for Wheelness to peek into him, and Enzu hits those shots all day long.
Quad kill for him in that round in total. If you want one player on Swansea left alive in a 1 versus X situation, it's definitely Enzo. Look at he's got 22 kills. He's got 22 kills, Raptros. He's absolutely insane. There's only been 18 rounds so far in this game. He's absolutely dominating so far on this map, and that was a really key round for them to win. Look at the weapons that Lancaster have available. This is everything they could afford to purchase in this round. This is what a full force buy looks like when you have Lancaster's bank at the moment, and they're going to need to put works in this with this Deagle. Tobes. Oh my god, he finds one headshot. He's got another one to find though. He's still going for it somehow, decides inevitably to fall off that angle though, and he's done a really good job of getting his team the opening frag in this round.
Tobes getting the early man advantage, can't recover the weapon though, dropped quite deep in towards that connector position. But we've seen that Deagle really work for him in previous rounds and on the previous map of course. But needs to find arguably one more here to give Lancaster a chance in this particular round with the upgraded pistols. They do have armor to their names though, no kits on that CT side. Tobes again getting aggressive, this time with Matcha. He's able to land the body shot but nothing more. Matcha will equal things out in terms of the man advantage. Swansea though still spread out across the map. Finally they'll start to have a bit of a sign collapsing towards that A side of the map, but the thing is the CTs rotated an extra player up here. So this might be bashing ahead up against the brick wall here for Swansea if they are not too careful. Those pistols can be so potent when they're just hiding on sites, waiting for the players to come to them, using the close range advantage that they have. Enigma, oh, he's just been trying to be baited here. Enzu just tapping out, and now Enigma, he makes his presence known, but it's only in the form of body shots right now. Exit and Wheelness able to defend with the pistols, but now it's a 1 versus 2 here. Hazard still pistols on the 2 Lancaster players. Hazard trying to chase Wheelness around the car, but the time, it's 8 seconds remaining. Hazard, he has to plan here for toilets, and now Explorer can peek out, but he's able to find the frag. And that'll be the defuse coming in there from the CT side as well, but they make the pistols work.
Just about. Oh, it's so close once again. The CTs, you know, even though they do manage to win that one, they do lose 4 players, which means they are going to have to reinvest in all of that body armor going into the next one. So they're still not going to be able to afford those full rifles with maximum body armor. Swansea, what on earth happened to them in that round? They really fell victim to that pistol play. Hazard did an excellent job of eliminating the player over towards Optimus, but he only had 10 seconds left. But then again, if he's got 10 whole seconds to pick up that bomb and plant, surely he's got enough time to move around the other side of the boxes and plant in a safer position. He clearly just doesn't anticipate the position of the, you know, he doesn't know the player Lancaster. They are pushing up towards that A short position, and they just managed to take him out there. Really unfortunate. You can tell that time was taken with Tobes. It's Swansea's turn on this pistol round now, and Tobes is making sure that they don't get up to any similar shenanigans in this one.
Exit. Oh, he has to be so careful here. The flashbang will completely blind him. That's the kill going the way of Matcha. Now Tobes' position is known as well. The deep smoke. Oh, Tobes, he might just have a shooting gallery here. He runs out of bullets in that AUG. Has to go to the pistol. And he gets put into an early grave. But here comes Enigma from the back lines. Finds Enzu, backs away. And now what does Swansea do in this situation? Their positions are known right now, and Lancaster can try to box them in here. Lancaster do have a player towards connector, so it won't be an easy task deciding to head towards B here. Exploralis with that AUG. Atomical might just walk into this one. The back is showing. Exploralis will punish it. So now the man advantage going the way of Lancaster. bringing this one back from a very, very dire start to the entire game. But Ferris and Matcha, they might still have an into this round right now. We do have the deep connector player for Lancaster, but the thing is, he's not down the ladder. He's just waiting for any push through T spawn, so this might just be a bomb site to plant on here for Swansea. But the thing is, Wheelness here has rotated down from the A bomb site. Ferris, he's able to recover the bomb. 10 seconds remaining. Has to, well, doesn't have to commit to the plant, but it'll be best advised that he does so. And now he's going to get closed in from all sides. Lancaster get themselves ahead for the first time here on Overpass.
Lancaster looking like they've studied Swansea's book of CT side strategies there. As soon as there are a few players left alive, gain that map control as soon as possible, wrap around, surround them, you know, divide and conquer, and then completely surround them on all flanks and make sure they can't retreat anywhere. Pretty decent pistol round though, when you consider all things said and done. It was only a pistol round. They got a bomb plant and 2 kills from the CT side, from the T side rather. So, you know, it's a reasonable thing to ask for. It's definitely a reasonable effort, and Atomical's actually gone for the Krieg here. Not a weapon you tend to see too much compared to how often its AUG counterpart on the CT side is actually used, and no AWPs available for Swansea Storm Green, so Enzu's going to be relegated to this rifle, whereas Tobes, he's going to have the freedom to use that AWP wherever he pleases.
There's Enzu trying to tempt fate with the door there. Gets a bit of chip damage thanks to the nade, and Wheelness getting spammed through the wood there. Not the most ideal situation. He'll try to reply with some of his own, and Enzu does get a bit of it. Grenade into connector, not going to do all that much damage, so the utility damage, the spray damage, however little of it, has been traded.
Yeah, well, it's up to a task for Swansea. What are they deciding to do? They really haven't got very much information as to where the Lancaster players are. Now, peeking over towards long, it should give them some modicum of information that they know at least no one's holding that position. And if they push all three players out towards long here, they could actually be in a great place, especially as Tobes is going to be forced now to take a relatively close angle unless he falls off over towards A short. Fetis playing it calm and collected, trying to peek everywhere. Oh, it is Exit though. He's going to be the man aware that they could be up long, and that's going to be the information given. Lancaster now going to have to start rotating, but Exit gets 2 and 3 as the bomb site attack comes in, but it's trades going back and forth as Matcha finds him now. 2 versus 2 situation, but the bomb is yet to be planted.
Yeah, smoke down onto the garbage position as well. Gives Matcha a little bit more safety when it comes to planting that bomb. Enigma with the flash through the smoke. Gets aggressive up towards Optimus, but he pulls a nade out. And that's exactly when the time that Matcha peaks, but he can't defend anymore on that A bomb site. It's all left to Atomical. Lancaster trying to double pick him. No, Esperales, you have to peek with your teammate there and not feed him kills one by one. Thrown away by Lancaster.
That was a really perplexing play. Why did they send the low HP player out first? It gave Atomical perfect amount of time to kill him, crouch down, regain his bearings, reset his aim, and then peek back up and deal with the next player that was facing him. So a little bit of a misplay there from Lancaster. It's going to end up costing them the round, and it's going to cost them their economy as well. Look at the buy now. It's their turn to have a pistol round. These pistol rounds are being traded back and forth so often, it feels. And I was going to say maybe Hazza read this, but it looks like he just didn't have enough money to buy anything other than a Mac 10. Exit's going to try to get what he can. Tobes is going to have to assist him, though. I don't think they're going to expect Enigma's position here, especially with Tobes baiting. Could be all but dust, but somehow he doesn't manage to eliminate Enigma before getting killed himself. So it's going crazy over on this A site right now. The A site is looking like it's going to go the way of Swansea, but Wheelness is going to have to say something about it if he wants to stop the bomb going down.
Position now. The wild spray with the CZ not exactly working there. Planted to be safe there for the Swansea side. They're able to find the frag to bring it down to 1 left here for the Lancaster side. Mac 10 in hand for Wheelness. Armor to his name. No kicks, no peeks out. Finds Atomical. Now only 2 players left to find. A bit undecided about the weapon he wants to take into this confrontation here. He has a 1 versus 1 with Enzu in towards bank if he decides to go for it, and checks long, and that will be his end.
Well, that is going to be Swansea actually taking the lead in the scoreline for the first time since their dominant run in that first half. 11 to 10 it is now. It's so close. Rounds being traded seemingly back and forth, as we're probably assuming that Lancaster now are going to be going for a buy, but it's not the strongest. Enigma only on a Deagle and 2 FAMASes on Exit and Expiralis. They do have at least quite a few flashbangs and smoke grenades to be able to deal with potential any early rushes. And he's actually going to take a little bit of damage early on in this round, despite his teammates trying to spray through and cause the same effect over towards B. Atomical is going to be the man to try and gain the A map control. He's actually going to have heard Tobes drop there, I think, but he's not quite aware that Tobes is willing to hold this position so passively. He does manage to get that headshot though, gets the opener, and now the B bomb site attack is about to come in.
It is Swansea going for the boost up. Enzu on top of this one, can't find an angle on towards Enigma, playing behind the pillar. He's got one player playing close towards him at Graffiti though. Wheelness walking all the way, so I don't think that information was given over to the Swansea side. Caught in two minds here. It is Lancaster. 3 towards the B site right now, and Wheelness trying to take the duel with Enzu, but it's at an absolute stalemate right now. Wheelness had half a mind to nade him out of that position, but decided not to go for it. Swansea still keeping with this B setup right now, at least on their T side, and Lancaster are actually going to back one off of this situation, so this might be a little bit more possible. If Swansea, but a flash is fantastic there. Experales finds 2 with the FAMAS, and the rest of the hit here coming up through short. Enigma stepping out with a deagle. He can't find anything. The frags have gone the way of Swansea. 3 in quick succession, and now Exit in a 1 versus 3 situation. Atomical playing up close. Exit has to wait for the fire to go out. No utility to his name, no kit either. He has to rely on his aim, but that won't work. Swansea, they've got another round. They're edging their way forward.
It was looking so good for Lancaster after Experalis got those opening 2 frags. It looked like the round might be tilting in their favour, but all of a sudden, all 3 players from Swansea Storm Green just push really quickly through B short, head over towards that B bomb site and just absolutely wrap around it, get the kills that they need to do, get the bomb down and end up winning the round. And now the aggression is going to go the way of Lancaster instead, as they do look like they're going to push Fountain with all of these pistols. Fetis is going to be the man to try and defend it with his teammate Hazza towards the playground as well, but Hazza read that like a book. Fetis getting the clean headshots as well, and this is looking like 13 for Swansea.
Yeah, they do get the kill. At least one for that CT side, but that is all they are going to get. Swansea, they can see the championship just on the horizon, you have to argue. A couple more rounds and they can take away the title. But Lancaster, what do they have here at the late stages of this second map? They need something. They have a buy. They have the utility, they have the AWP on towards Tobes as well. Currently sat at the long position, needs to land this shot right there onto Hazza. Great advantage there for Lancaster. Hazza just running straight out directly into the AWP.
Yeah, this is a really must-win round for Lancaster. They lose this one, their economy's in the toilet once again. Swansea Storm Green are then only 2 rounds away from winning this map. Tobes has started the round perfectly with that AWP kill, put themselves in the best possible position to get an advantage. Now it's time to retreat. Hold passively, hold your angles and rely on your aim. Use those flashbangs properly, make sure you get those kills, and they're starting to gear up like A is going to be the bomb site where things are going to be decided in this round. The bomb is making its way up towards A long, and it could be a perfect call here as 3 players for Lancaster are all the way over towards B, but Swansea, they've still got to clear these angles. They don't know that. They don't have the minimap that we do, and Enzu's going to go up on the boost this time instead. He's just not going to be able to see anyone though. If he can get 1 frag here, that's going to be the prompt that his team need to push onto this A bomb site.
Can't find the angle with the AWP. Tobes with his own. He's able to find one on this A site defense. The smokes will come through from that T site, but do they commit behind this one? They have everyone here to go for this one. If they just send those flashes over perhaps and try to get themselves an entry, but they've given time for the rotations to come through for Lancaster. Fetis trying to bring it back in the favour of Swansea, but the bomb has been lost. 15 seconds remaining. 1 versus 4 for Enzu. Not possible.
Absolutely great play from Tobes, I've got to say, in that round. He should be the MVP for the round. He gets the opening kill and gets another one as well. And let's not forget, he was a glass cannon AWP in that round. He had no body armor. He had to hit those shots as quickly as he did. And that really opened things up for Lancaster in that defense. It completely denied Swansea's chances at getting a cohesive push. It hasn't destroyed their economy just yet. They are going to be able to go for another full buy round. But Lancaster, they're trying to creep back up. They want to tie that scoreline again. They want to push forward. At the end of the day, they need this map, right? Swansea Storm Green are 3 rounds away from being the Spring 2019 champions, and Lancaster are going to have to bring out everything that they have to try and stop them from doing that.
Looks like it's going to be a attack, perhaps, towards the B bomb site, actually, for Swansea. They stacked everyone up here early on in the round, but the tag damage is good there. Onto Atomical brings him down to 73 HP. Makes him a little bit softer for the AUG and the M4 still on the side of Lancaster. Lancaster, 3 players towards this side of the map as here comes the hit for Swansea. Expirales finds one on the defense. Hazard trades one back. It's trades going every which way in this situation, but Enigma finds a 2K to be able to secure it or make it a little bit more secure here for Lancaster. Now Enzu, 1 versus 3 AWP. Wasn't possible for him last time because of the time left remaining on the clock, but does he even dare? He decides to go for this. He goes for the jump. Somehow he survives. Expirales not able to complete the spray, but Enigma is there to back him up. Lancaster, they are making a fight of this.
He definitely went for it there, Enzu. We know he's a player capable of pulling off these kinds of things. Unfortunately, that opening AWP shot just doesn't land for him. And in a 1 versus 3 situation like that, I think he's certainly looking for an AK as opposed to an AWP when he's facing off against those crossfires. Lancaster, they're creeping back up. The scoreline is only 1 round away from being completely tied now. And Swansea, they haven't got a great buy to go with in this one. Their money isn't looking great either. Hazard only on $50 himself, has the man with the AK. But these trades are coming in every which way and where. Exit getting 2 all kills there. He's going for the pistol one as well, but Atomical eliminates him. And the players now for Lancaster retreat to the A-bomb site.
Careful Tobes. Still got players rotating, but that doesn't seem to matter. Misses the shot on towards Fedis. Fedis trying to find the gun, finds the AK, and able to re-aggress here, trying to find Tobes, but Lancaster surviving with 4. They have a bit of a resurgence here, but I still don't know which way this one's going to go.
It's all tied up, ladies and gentlemen, 13-13. Both sides need 3 rounds to win the map. This is if these rounds keep getting traded the way that they are, this could quite comfortably be an overtime situation. All it takes is 2 rounds each from each side. We know they're capable of it. Unfortunately, now for Swansea, thereby slightly weaker. Hazard's on the UMP, whereas Tobes still has that AWP. He's been showing up in a big way on the CT side with that AWP on this map, and maybe that's the secret to their victory in some of these past rounds. This grenade could deal quite a bit of damage if it's placed properly. Thankfully, Hazard just manages to get behind the wall enough so that he doesn't take too much damage from it. And Swansea really quite spread out across the map. They've got 2 players over towards A long, 2 on A short, and then 1 in the form of Atomical just outside Monster waiting for any CT aggression. So it looks like they're gearing up towards an A-bomb site attack. And this could be the right call as there's only 2 players here actually left to defend it.
That long smoke is actually from the T side, just to allow Hazard to play up close against it, able to prepare some utility for this A side take. Exit though up close, tight at the toilet, finds Enzu. Flashes for more as well. Matchup lurking his way through the toilets, but the rest of the hit perhaps for Swansea, well, had an inkling of pushing their way through long. They will decide to back off of this one, but the thing is, look at this timing. Exit and... oh no, is Exit going to find him? Oh, use your headphones in the right manner, Exit. That was an easy kill as they were backing out of toilets. Just simply wasn't looking in the right direction. But now here comes the hit onto the B side, but Lancaster, they have the utility to try and delay. Will get smoked off there. Thanks to the T side, but here we go. The hit comes through, but it's defended by Expirales and Enigma. Tobes and Wheelness left to try and defend. 13 seconds left on the clock. Hazard simply has to commit to this bomb plant. An inkling of a spam through there for Lancaster. Hazard can't find the kill. Oh, this is absolutely brilliant stuff. Well, it's not the best Counter-Strike, but it's exciting Counter-Strike.
It's certainly going both ways. Trades, it's brutal Counter-Strike. Trades going both ways. And something I'm really going to commend Lancaster on in that round is that short Molotov, right? They see, you know, even though the player over towards bathrooms, I think it was Exit, gets eliminated, he still communicates that they're going down connector over towards that B bomb site. That then allows Lancaster to begin the rotates, but they don't have enough time, right? Swansea are closer on those angles. They're going to be able to get there quicker and actually be able to dominate things. However, an excellent Molotov over towards short completely denies that push. 2 players get forced off by it. They take a little bit too long getting a smoke grenade out and dropping it at their feet. The bomb can't get to the bomb site in time, and that just gives Lancaster that all-important thing. It is time. It was a question of time. They had enough of it. They managed to push onto that bomb site in the end, and they actually did manage to get that retake in the end against Hazard. So bomb defused. Another round. Lancaster staring at getting themselves map point here, and 5 AKs for Swansea are going to be the only thing to try and deny them that and tie the scoreline up once again at 14-14.
The spectator area is officially packed despite there being limited seating, I suppose. Giving us a little bit of a wave there during that break, but Lancaster on Swansea now. Things on a knife edge between these two. Fairs gonna look for the boost up here. Try and punish some of these close angles. towards the toilet, towards the party. Not going to find anything. Lancaster playing very passive. They're taking no chances here. They're just sitting on sites and waiting for Swansea to come to them. And Swansea, they don't have a lot of utility to work with when this eventual execute comes through. So let's see how this one will work out. Spread out in their default right now, but where do they collapse?
I definitely think Lancaster are playing passively really deliberately. They know that Swansea are on the back foot here. They are starting to probe areas of the map now and get a little bit more aggression. Exit just getting a little bit pushed up onto A short, but they know Swansea are the team on the back foot, right? If Swansea lose this round, they're staring down map point. They have to force overtime. They can't win it in regulation time, so they're playing passively and trying to stay alive as much as possible. A little bit of an A fake being attempted by Swansea Storm Green here as the B execute now does decide to come in.
Yeah, here we go, out on towards the side. They found one entry already, but can't find another just yet. Matcha and Enzu in the 2 versus 4 here to bring it back level for Swansea. Out on towards the B-bomb side, they'll decide to go. Enzu here in support. Matcha will fall, and now it's Enzu versus 4. Can he do it here? Gets utility to his face and can't find a single frag when push comes to shove. So Lancaster now looking to take the advantage here on the second map. They have a couple of map points in hand, but this is the point where they need to convert.
Yeah, indeed. And look at the buy from Swansea Storm Green right now. 2 SMGs being forced out, very limited utility. It does look like Lancaster are looking more and more comfortable on this map pick as it has progressed. But it's been really competitive. And look, everything's just going wrong for Swansea, right? That Molotov goes down, stops 3 players from pushing, and then Exit does manage to get a frag as well. So if things continue like this, we're going to be heading to map 3.
It might just be a Mirage decider, but I won't speak too soon. The 4 spies have been particularly potent in this matchup so far, especially early on here on overpass. Tobes misses the shot onto Enzu. Has to fall back in that situation, surrender the map control to the Swansea side as they start to edge their way up. 3 players on this A-bomb site to try and defend here for Lancaster, but it's going to be Swansea taking their time, being very methodical with things. They have a couple of smokes and a couple of Molotovs to use to flush out players here on this A-bomb site. Topes posted up with that AWP for any pressure heading their way through the toilet's position right now, but he won't be greeted with anything just yet. But here they come. Atomical trying to jiggle, peek, bait out the shot, but the thing is the shot lands, and the shots continue to land for Topes as well. Wheelness chiming in. Fedis versus 5 to keep Swansea in this map. It will be Lancaster winning map 2, and we will go to a decider of Mirage.
Indeed, excellent play from Tobes on this map. Certainly Overpass seems to be where he's at home with that up. He's doing an absolute excellent job at denying those early pushes, eliminating the players that are pushing straight away, and he really was a key component in the CT side defense of that map.
Yeah, what a map we've just seen. It was on a razor's edge at the end there. If Swansea got a couple of rounds back there, maybe we might be looking at overtime, but Lancaster, they were able to convert when it mattered, and now we got a Mirage to look forward to with both teams very experienced on the desert map, so this one can go either way now. I'm just going to call it.
Yeah, exactly. It's still all to play for. It's map 3, ladies and gentlemen, in the best of 3 series. It is going to be competitive, as we've seen. Both of these teams love Mirage. They've played it a lot, and Lancaster absolutely loving it. They've won 7 out of their 8 maps on Mirage, and I know Swansea are comfortable here too, so it's really going to be a great one to look forward to.
It's definitely one that you do not want to miss. We'll be back with map 3 of the NUEL Spring Split Grand Finals here for 2019 just after this.
Watch the stars and make amends. You'll be fine by me. speakers loud in the radio, playing old so blind that we still online every verse we know. And we hadn't had a clue if we'd make it by noon or even where we'd go. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map everywhere. The tank said E and we all agree that we're just too broke. Fill it back up, so we left your truck on the road with road. Then we found a motel with a cigarette smell, so we knew we're close. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map, everywhere. Home is where I can find some peace of mind and make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. But don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left behind on the road. We played Tupac Sharak and we turn our music up when he raps about hope. We hold our thumbs high and hope someone is kind enough to give us all a ride. And we wouldn't have a clue if we'd make it back to or even where we'd go. But we don't need a map, everywhere is home. A Ford stopped on the street, said where you trying to be. We said we don't really care, we'll know it when we're there. We took on down the road, he flipped on his radio. Santeria started slow, so we knew that we were close. Home is where I can find some peace of mind and make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. 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 Home is where I can find some peace of mind and make my own way. I don't know where I
The second map is in the books, and we have a decider on Mirage. Welcome back to NUEL Live 2019 here at the Red Bull Gaming Sphere in London. The broadcast, as ever, brought to you by Twitch students, Intel, and Asus ROG. I'm Raptros, and with Protalis once again. What a ridiculous map on Overpass, and that just sets the stage now for Mirage.
What a comeback from Lancaster. They were looking in serious trouble during the main portion of the first half. Swansea were up, I think, 8-2, 8-3 at one point. It looked like the game was all in their hands. They were dominating the CT side, but then the Lancaster comeback comes in. They start clawing those T-round backs. They start calling those T-rounds back, and then when the sides switch over, it's a much more balanced affair. They do a great job at denying Swansea those key rounds, certain times trying to push the B-site defence, really saving Lancaster on that one. And now we're headed to Mirage. These two teams love this map. It's going to be great. It's going to be battle of the greats. Enzu versus Tobes with those AWPs. I can't wait to see it.
I'm rubbing my hands together because this is going to be an absolutely fantastic map. I know there are a lot of Swansea fans in the crowd. You can't quite hear them on the broadcast, but we can definitely hear them through the walls of the studio. It's absolutely crazy indeed, the amount of support that they have here. And they have traveled, what, about, what is it, about 880 miles, I suppose, down on the train?
If you combine their stuff together, then it's certainly a few hundred miles each for each of them, and they're all competing the grand prize. They both want it so much. That's why Lancaster came back so aggressively in Overpass, and now we're on Mirage. It's the even, balanced ground here now. The grand prize available. VIP tickets to ESL One Cologne 2019, a premier esports event in the calendar. They're going to get the chance to meet their favourite Counter-Strike pros, but before they get that chance, they've got to win this map. They've got to get to Mirage, and they've got to turn up. It's a game or go home on this one.
Yes, it is, and well, we've been hyping up the Mirage map since the pre-show, but finally we will get to see it here in just a couple of moments' time. Players just getting themselves into the server, getting themselves ready as well. But this is going to be, I have to feel, same with Overpass, a back and forth affair as the rounds get traded either way. And you quite rightfully point out as well, this is Tobes' playground for Lancaster, but can Enzu match him? I feel like he has the ability to, but it's the matter of the pressure on his shoulders now.
Certainly, and I think another factor that's really going to be important in this map is going to be anchor players over towards that B bomb site. You see quite frequently that in the event that a player has to rotate over towards A, just in case they suspect an attack is coming in, you have to leave an anchor player there that you know is solid. He's got to be reliable over towards B. He's got to be able to get 1 or 2 kills for himself and secure it into that one. And as we head into the game shortly, that's really going to be something that is really important going into this map.
Here we go then, the final map of the grand final of NUEL Live 2019, and it's going to be Lancaster starting themselves on that CT side, at least for the knife round. I hyped that up a little bit too early, but we'll just continue and plowing through it because it is the final map. We will get a knife round to decide the sides. And it looks like, well, it's pretty even right now, but the kills will go the way of the Swansea side. So it looks like, unless the Sprouse can pull off something magical here with that default knife, it will be the side pick going the way of the Swansea side. And that is a small advantage here at Mirage.
Casually just inventory shaming next Boralis there, but it doesn't matter. Skins aren't everything. As long as you turn up with that in-game skill, that's all that's important. So Swansea are going to switch to the CT side. They're going to try and see how they can deal with Lancaster, forcing Lancaster to go on the offensive in the first portion of this final map. And here we go now. The buys are coming in. Let's do a little bit of analysis here. 3 bits of armor, so they're going for a low utility buy on Swansea. Atomical going to be the only player with a diffuse kit and a smoke. The rest of them just fully bodied armored up to try and deal with those Glocks. Tobe's going to have 2 flashes and a smoke, and it's screaming like a B execute for me.
Here we go, 2 pistol rounds to go, the first of which is on the cards right now. But what's the strategy going to be here for the T side? It's a flat out MM special. It's a rush out on towards the B bomb site. Fetis here, lying in wait, pulls out the USB. Why is he switching to his knife? The kills have gone the way of Lancaster on this T side. The quick rotations are through here for the Swansea side. Bomb is not down just yet. It's only just getting planted. This gives time for Swansea Storm Green to try to manage this retake now. They have support coming up through short in the form of Enzu. Can he find a advantage in this round? It's seemingly not the case as he's been found first as Matcha tries with the aggressive peak coming up through the market position. Now Atomical versus 5. Can he channel the power of Enzu? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see what happens. Atomical, he's going to get closed in on from all sides. He will be found. And now Wheelness will bring Lancaster their first pistol round in this map.
Lancaster just giving us a masterclass in the B site pistol round execute there. Immediately getting the opening 2 frags that they needed. Took a little bit of a while to get the bomb down there, but they did manage to do it eventually. A really curious play from Fethis. I think he got flashed and so wasn't aware that he'd switched to his knife, and then by the time that they've actually pushed out, it was too late. He got his pistol out, but just not in time before all of the Lancaster players had spotted him out and decided to deal with him. Now, this is an interesting strategy from Lancaster. They've got 3 players back towards the rear apartments area, and they've pushed Wheelness up quite aggressively. 1 to spot for the player pushing from underpass as he's looking now, and 2 to try and probe out this B bomb site for a stack, which is exactly what Swansea have called here. So now the rest of Lancaster are going to go out towards mid. They're going to expend some utility just to make sure there's nobody in that mid window, and then they're probably going to hit. It's an interesting decision. It looks like they're going for an A split though, as they have got Exploralis over towards the A slope, and they're not going to be faced against any defenders on this bomb site. So looking at the moment like a quick early 2 rounds for Lancaster, and it's a great way to start things off on the T side of Mirage, but next round Swansea are going to have the guns.
Absolutely. They'll avoid the stack for now on that B side of the map. Enzu, can he find the frag to exit? The answer is going to be a flat out no, at least not with that USPS. And now Lancaster free A bomb site to try and plant on. They're still very tentative. They're giving Swansea a lot of respect here, and why not? Why not? Because of the way these past 2 maps have gone. They do not want to take any chances at all. They do not want to take all that many risks. And now Swansea Storm Green triple peeking out of short, but they will get mowed down eventually. Lancaster look to convert on their pistol round and get that second.
Yeah, well, Matcha does actually manage to eliminate exit here, and there's kind of no point in him saving. He hasn't invested absolutely anything into this round, so he's going to be holding for the players that are hunting him by the looks of things, and the man that is going to be facing him first will be Wheelness. Probably not going to be able to deal with him quite so quickly, as Wheelness is just holding that passive position with an AK, unless we see the quickest 2 headshots a man has ever seen in his entire life. Matcha's probably going to go down here. Yeah, there it is. There's 3 players facing him over towards CT. Nothing he can really do. Lancaster got 2 rounds early on the board, but now it's time for Swansea's reply. They're going to buy out these rifles, and they're going to try and set up in a defensive manner. They're going to try and deny Lancaster anything available. The only saving grace for Swansea at the minute is that Lancaster do not have an AWP available at the moment. They have more utility, and they have those AKs, which are just slightly more powerful. So Enzu, that grenade could actually be quite nice. It is going to deal quite a significant amount of damage, and a couple of Molotovs going to force him out of aggressive connector as some of the Lancaster players head towards short.
Enzu finds Enigma though, playing top of connector position. Short smoke comes through for T side there. Of course, you can aggress behind that one if you're the short player on that CT side to try and find an angle on it to any of the mid players the T's might have there, but not going to be doing anything with it just yet is Matcha. But now he decides to make his way in towards the ladder room. Enzu's found his way out towards connector, towards jungle.
It's going to be interesting to see what Lancaster actually decide to do here. They've got 3 players up towards mid, but they haven't committed a decision. The bomb is still all the way back towards top mid. They really don't want to risk losing this. Enzu's in a great position to find Tobes here, though. And that's going to swing things even further into Swansea's favour. He's got to get this kill now, but Matcha just denies him completely. Left in the 2 versus 5 situation. They're going to pick up the bomb, and where are they going to decide to go with it? I don't think they really have any options. Now that Exploralis is down, Wheelness has just got to save this one by the looks of things. And Swansea, they've put a stop to Lancaster's run, dead in the tracks, and it looks like they're all on for their first round on the scoreboard.
They have all 5 still left alive. Wheelness against 5. One of the most unlikely situations you'll ever get in CSGO, but it does happen sometimes. I won't hype it up just for now, but it's a very clean round there from Swansea so far. And if they can go into the next round without taking any casualties, the bomb plant here will be Fethis' chance to peek. Does eventually go for it. I'm not sure why he jumps peek it after the bomb plant goes down. Maybe he's just trying to see if it was faked or not.
Yeah, I think that was the idea there, and he does a good job of getting that kill just in time before the bomb does go down, so he denies that extra money going the way of Lancaster. And this map is going to be a brawl, ladies and gentlemen, don't you forget it. So every little piece of advantage that each side can get on the other, for example, like denying those bomb plants, like taking away one player in a round that they do end up losing, costing that economy situation. All of these things are going to add up in the end, all of those marginal gains. And now Lancaster, they're looking pretty like they've got a dodgy buy, and they're going to be angling it over towards this B bomb site.
Grenade onto Wheelness is good. Good enough to do, well, a chunk of damage. Down to 76 HP for him. Hazard trying to jump spot. The smoke goes through, but Lancaster will decide to push this one. The Molotov in as well as Hazard. The triple spray down works out, and Matcha finds one in the flames as well. And now Expralis, 1 versus 4. It was a bit of a haphazard buy for Lancaster, so I don't think they'd be too worried about going throwing this one away. But again, it's Hazard with the multi-kills. So many times throughout this series, he's been able to find them, no matter if it's an eco, a force buy, or a gun round.
Yeah, Hazard's been doing superb work with the rifle. This is why he was chosen as one of those players in that pre-match setup against Exit, his counterpart on Lancaster. He's really good in those high-impact rounds, getting those multiple frags. And now, Lancaster, their economy's still dodgy. They went for the force buy in that one, and now they still have to go for pistols again. So this is going to give Swansea a really good chance of pulling ahead in the scoreline quite early on. Enzu's going to go nuts up mid, though. He's fully blind and has to run away.
He gets away, Tobe following him with Deagle in hand, but Exit with the CZ is able to find him first. That's the man advantage going the way of the Lancaster side right now. They've got connector control as well, looking to perhaps try to assault this A bomb site. They sort of stalled out right now, not entirely sure what to do. But it's still a good position for them to be in. But the thing is, Fess, he's able to find Exit, brings it down even in terms of the players left on the server for each side. Lancaster perhaps looking for a little bit of an A split here, perhaps. Tobes maybe trying to fake something back towards the B site to try and to just take some rotations away from that A bomb site. Yeah. Expralis now, bomb on his back, Deagle in hands. Still up against it here for Lancaster.
No, certainly, they've only got 4 deals to work with, and only 3 of them actually have body armor, no head armor apiece, so those CT rifles are more effective. Atomical is going to open things up for the CTs. We've got a couple more to find towards those positions. He is actually going to get the 180, nearly. Expralis manages to finish him off, despite only being on 2 HP, and him and Tobes are the dynamic duo left to do it. And, well, his teammate's gone now. It's just on Tobes. He's great with an AWP. How good is he with the Deagle, though? That is the question. He's going to look for these headshots over towards CT, but things are looking slightly grim for him. Doesn't manage to pick up the AWP on the first strike. Does get it second, but doesn't have enough time to cock the weapon, and Matcha is going to eliminate him. So 3-2 now in favour of Swansea as we head into a Lancaster full buy on this one by the looks of things. Utility still going to be limited and no AWPs available for that T side, but there it is. Enzu, he's got the AWP out. You know how dominant he can be on this map with that weapon, and let's see what he can do in this round.
Going to play in that typical AWPing position of Window. He will be greeted perhaps with a couple of players. No, he decides to bail out the window, reposition towards Connector. Can't land the shot onto Enigma as he swings out. Mid-control being gained here by the T side of Lancaster. Matcha might play some shenanigans behind that short smoke, but decides to play it a little bit more passive, just throwing that Molotov towards under and then backing off to join his teammate on that B bomb site. But Lancaster, comfortable mid-control gained here. A little win in this round so far.
Yeah, well, they're going to need to... They've actually had to fight quite heavily for all of the map control that they've gained so far, and once again, they're really spread out over this map, and something interesting to note is Atomical is quite aggressive over towards A slope, so he's probably giving the information that if an A split is going to come in, it's going to be really difficult for them to push that slope position with him watching there. Lancaster, I don't think have decided what they want to do yet. They've got players all over the map. It's just, what's their decision process going to be right now? It does look like they're angling over towards this A bomb site in the end. Yep, that is going to be the decision by the looks of things, as they do have the player in the form of Wheelness pushing over towards underpass, and they do appear to be gearing up over towards this A bomb site now, and it's going to be a full utility execute.
Sending the smoke into window. Utility being used by Lancaster side. Here comes Atomical, pushed up through the ramp, and he finds the bomb as well. It has to be retaken here by Lancaster, but they're falling, but they're trading. It's a 2 versus 2. Becomes a 2 versus 1. Tobes being the singular player left, but look at the time. He has 12 seconds remaining. He has to get a move on. He has to cross into Enzu's AWP, and Enzu will deny him.
Yeah, well, Enzu doing a great job there with that AWP kill, just securing the round. Really good trades there from the side of Lancaster, actually, on the initial pushes into the bomb site, but unfortunately, Tobes just doesn't know where the remaining players are. He can't beat the angles and support his teammates in a sufficient manner, and that's going to force Lancaster now onto another pistol force buy. So their economy is absolutely in tatters at the moment. Swansea winning 4 rounds in a row is really putting pressure on the money for Lancaster, but here comes the A attack.
Yeah, with the upgraded pistols, Enigma finds the entry, but Enzo and Atomical able to trade back. But it's a bomb site secure? Question mark here for the T side. They were able to get the bomb plant down, so that's a little bit of a cash injection going into their bank accounts, but Hazard starts off the retake on the right foot and continues on with it as well. Finds Enigma, now Tobes in the 1 versus 3 with the pistol. And that is a very low chance of winning. So the defuse can come in for the CT side. Swansea extend their advantage on this final map.
Yeah, there's almost no chance that Tobes can get any kills there using a Glock at long range, but we've just seen him buy it. He's got the AWP out now. It is going to be Battle of the AWPers. We have been fabling it in before this map. Tobes and Ensu, they both have the big green gun. Which one of them is going to be able to use it better, though? That is the question as we head into this one. What are Lancaster going to be able to do to deal with Enzu?
Enzu, again, aggressive with the AWP, perhaps. Setting up on the connector, and he's able to catch Enigma out as he tries to cross. He was playing directly in front of that smoke, and Enigma wasn't expecting it at all. And now Tobes waits for any further aggression. That simply won't come his way right now. Wheelness having a little bit of an explore towards the B side of the map. Gets naded, and the second nade comes through, down to 40 HP, and tagged down even further, thanks to the AK of Hazard. Wheelness has taken a lot of damage here for not all that much gain.
Yeah, indeed. It's really good play there from the Swansea players, using those HEs to pressure him and force him off that position. The bomb has actually made its way over towards B by the looks of things, though. I don't know if it'll be committed there as it does head over towards underpass now. Still 1 minute left on the clock for Lancaster to work with. They still have time to make decisions, but Swansea have got some incredible map control. They've got Atomical over towards that A slope once again with it smoked off, and with Fetis holding CT, it really allows for Enzu to just hold window properly with that AWP. Match has gotten covered on for short as well, so Enzu just manages to get away from that before Tobes does finally eliminate him, though, but it's a 3 versus 4. Tobes is going to have to do a little bit more if his team want to win this round.
A slight opening made there for Lancaster. Matcher watching for the short push, punishes Tobes as he tries to work his way around the corner. Exit actually had 2 flashes there. He could have used to flash his teammate into that position, but decides to forgo the utility. Hazard holding the apartment strong. Exit trades back, but Matcher is there to make sure the round is secure for Swansea.
Well, it's looking like a little bit of a mirroring of the first part of the first half of Overpass, actually, with Swansea pulling away quite early on their CT side and being really dominant in these rounds. Now, we did see Lancaster manage to come back from a dire position in the last one. It's going to be a question of whether they can do it again in this one, though. It does look like they still have money. Tobes can't afford the AWP this time. He's going to be down on the CZ75, but they're changing things up now as they're looking like they're putting all 5 players over towards this A execute and not committing anyone to mid.
Utility being used on that A side of the map. Here come Lancaster with the AKs, the CZ in hand on Tobes. Not deciding to buy up in this situation. Enzu opens things up on the defense, and Fair's able to find one of his own. Enzu continues on. He's going absolutely nuclear here, and Fair's finishes off the round for Swansea. Oh, it's so dominant right now. Lancaster can't find a way in. They've been assaulting that A side of the map so much. A splits, pushing out through A ramp, the utility, the smoke's down, the flash is over, but they can't find their way to the site. There needs to be a change.
You can see it there on the player cam faces for Lancaster. You can see the tension in their faces. They're really struggling at the moment to find any openings. Swansea looking much more calm and collected. They're just talking to each other, having a bit of a discussion. You can see Fetis there communicating with Enzu, giving him a little bit perhaps tactical pointers as to what's going to happen with him later on in this game. We mentioned it before this map started. Enzu can be the player that makes the day on Mirage. He has the explosive capability to completely take over this map and make it his own personal playground. We've been seeing it so far currently, and it's just a question of whether he can continue going for it once again as we progress into the game.
We'll get ourselves our feedback in just a couple of moments' time as the next round is underway, and we'll get that one up for you right about now. It's going to be perhaps an assault on towards the B-bomb site here for Lancaster, but that grenade, the second one, it does so much damage to those players, even with the armor that they have and the pistols in hand. They can't make any inroads. Finally they get a kill, but it's all shut down by Swansea, and now Tobes with a deagle. 17 HP to his name is not going to be enough Swansea continue on their run of form?
Well, it's what we were talking about in the pre-game with those B-side anchor players. Hazard and Matcha doing an excellent job of just really not buckling under the pressure of these pushes. They see 5 players pushing them, they don't freak out, they don't accidentally try and go for flashes and make some silly errors because they're being pressured. They just stay cool, calm and collected, get those org spray downs all day long, and it's really a key component to the defense of the B bomb site right now. And look at Enzu's position. He's getting a little bit cheeky with this orb.
A bit cheeky is definitely a word for it. The opening going the way of Swansea though, so Lancaster immediately at a disadvantage coming into this round, and they can't be affording to have any disadvantage with Enzo on the other team. That's a disadvantage in and of itself, and now they try to get themselves onto A, but Exit, he's able to find the entry frag, so it's a good situation here for Lancaster, but it's still up against it. But now Match will be able to find Exit's teammate, and now Exit, what does he do here in the 1 versus 3? It looked to be going one way then the other. They had a glimmer of light, but it has been snuffed out. Exit spamming through the ticket booth, doesn't do any damage at all, and Fetis will finish it off.
Look at this at the moment. 9-2 is the scoreline at the start of Mirage. And remember, this is the final map of the series. The winner here wins NUEL Spring 2019. And Swansea have come out in an absolutely incredible fashion. This is reminiscent of that 16-2 victory we saw against Warwick previously in the varsity season. While it may not be the same scoreline, it's certainly shaping up to have the same level of dominance. And look at Lancaster's economy. When was the last time they had a proper full buy? They've got Deagles and an AK.
Why is this is so frustrating to watch. Enzu continuing it on. Triple spray down through mids. Swansea charging towards their first NUEL title. Matcher finishing off Exit before he goes a little bit too crazy. And now Enigma with Deagle and Armor. Bomb not even in his control. Lancaster needs some divine intervention at this stage because Swansea, they're running away with it. We thought this map would be close, Brutalis, but it seems like Swansea, they've found another gear. Well,
Enzu showing us in that round that it doesn't matter what weapon he has, as long as he's got a scope on it, he's capable of getting a ton of kills. A triple kill spray down for him there, and now he's got the AWP back again. Finally, we see Lancaster on a decent full buy with all AKs now. A lot of Molotovs available, so perhaps they're going to try and use them a little bit more tactically, pushing towards this A bomb site. Enzu's going to take a little bit of damage, trying to peek aggressively with that AWP, but it does look like it's going to be a B short play coming out from Lancaster.
Oh, Matcha, he was caught with a nade out, but he's able to readjust, and he gets support from Fetis as well. And now Fetis continues on his run and form, finds Tobes. Experalis trades it back. Both Lancaster players very low here on their T-side. Wheelness trying to explore through the apartments. His butt is showing and be taken off as well. Matcha holds no prisoners as Swansea again charge on ahead.
That is so unfortunate for Lancaster there, that the Lancaster player, he just gets peeked out from that position. It's really unfortunate. Matcha just gets the tiniest little glimpse of his character model and is able to eliminate him. And now, oh my word, the money for Lancaster. Exactly. They must have only had like 3 or 4 full buy rounds in this entire game.
Look, they're still trying to discuss the buy-in spawn. What's going on here, Lancaster?
They might as well, to be honest. Like, the next round is the final round of the half. They've only got 2 rounds together so far. They're going to be forced onto pistols in this one because the money's just not together. They haven't been able to. They haven't won a single round since the second round of the game. They won the opening pistol and the follow-up, and since then Swansea have had 11 in a row, and it looks like they're about to continue.
Oh, Atomical mowing them down from the sandwich position. Wheelness, he's able to get himself towards the firebox, and Experalis makes it a little bit more winnable here for Lancaster, but it's such a sketchy situation still. The Match's position will be known and executed by Experalis, so this is looking a little bit better here for Lancaster, but the grenade is gonna take Wheelness's life, and now Experalis in a 1 versus 2. Can he break the streak, the winning streak for Swansea Storm Green? Bomb not in his control, but time is on his side. Both Swansea players towards that CT position right now. Experalis, I don't even know how to play this if I was in this situation.
It's so difficult, especially with both of these players holding for CT. He doesn't know where they are. He's got 40 seconds to play with, but he can't get the bomb because they're watching it like a hawk. He's got to face Fetis as the first man, but the AWP just eliminates him straight away. 12-2 is the scoreline in this opening half right now, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that Mirage is the most successful map for Lancaster in their varsity history, and they're currently down at 12-2 in the first half as we head into the final round of that half. We're seeing a double AWP setup come out now from Tobes and Experalis. If this isn't the ingredient that allows Lancaster to actually get around on the board. I don't know what will be, but look at this buy from Swansea. An M249 and an auto sniper. They're really showing their confidence here.
Come on, guys. It's a grand final. You don't BM like that, no matter how confident that you're feeling. Atomical behind the smoke with an M249. How's this one going to turn out? May not be the greatest for Atomical, but Exit's going to be the first victim of a meme here. Here comes Atomical. Not going to pull the trigger just yet. He's free. That Exit, that's a kill for an M249 in the grand final here at NUEL Live 2019.
Oh my God, he's got another one.
He gets another one with the M249. What is this? Ace, perhaps?
Oh my, there's
that
no
would be
way.
a thing, wouldn't it?
There's no way. I would lose all faith in humanity if Atomic was allowed to ace here. Surely Enzu not going to be able to deal with Tobes, as his ops is actually going to take his head off. And now Experalis has opened things up as well, so it's starting to shape up now. Tobes with another one. He's going really ham at the moment, as it looks like they're going to decide to push A, but they really expect Swansea players to get aggressive and peek this connector position. But listen, the spray down from this weapon could end it all. That's all I'm going to say.
Will Atomical regret the M249? That is the big question. He has targets galore. He won't be able to find any of them. Tobes has the angle. Finally, Lancaster look like, and I have to say look like, they can win a round after a 12-round loss streak here to Swansea Storm Green. Has the only player left alive now for Swansea. The event break comes through. He finds Tobes as well. That is simply not a kill that you can be giving away there if you're Tobes. You had the prior warning of him breaking the vent, but you simply weren't able to land the shots. And now Hazza in the 1 versus 2, looking to continue on the winning streak, but it won't happen. They will drop a round here at the end of the half. That's my reaction. Just
What an incredible amount of play coming out from Swansea there. There we are. I told you in the pre-game, ladies and gentlemen, Enzu can be the man to take this over. 17 kills for him in the first half. 12 rounds on the board for Swansea. A 12-3 first half. But let's not forget, once the sides were switched on to Overpass, on to CT side on Overpass, that's when Lancaster came alive. But it has to be said, if Lancaster don't win this pistol round, they are in serious trouble for the remainder of this map. It does look like Swansea are going to go for a 5-man push over towards A. 4 are going to go at Palace and 1 pushing short.
Here we go, on the pistol round. Exit finds one as Felix tries to drop off of Palace. Tobes finds one. Exit gets a second as well. Hazard trades back with that Glock, but the bomb down on the site. None of these T players anywhere near it though. Enzu has to take the duel, and now it's Hazard 1 versus 3. It was a clutch attempt in the last round. Can he do it this time around? He can't. Baby steps for Lancaster. They win the second pistol round.
The smallest amount of breathing room possible being given to Lancaster there. Now they have something that they can take into this. They're probably going to win this round as well. It doesn't look like a massive force buzz coming out from Swansea, so they are going to they're going to have 2 rounds to try and reset their state of mind at the moment, try and get their thoughts together and devise the strategies they need on this defence. They are, we know, we've seen it before, they are a better team on the defence than they are on the attack, but we're just going to have to see. It's got to be an incredible defence. They really have very little room for error after that incredible first half from Swansea. Now, this round's almost certainly going to go their way unless we see some insane Deagle plays from Hazard and Enzu potentially, but I've got a feeling that Lancaster are looking like they're going to get their 5th round on the board here.
Tobes will get the information as they drop off of the window boost. So, little bits of information gained here and there for the Lancaster side. Here comes the pistols up through connector. Enigma sorts them all out there. The triple spray down with that FAMAS continues on as well. The 4K for Enigma. Will it be the ace as Fetis decides to head his way up the ramp? It's going to be bomb on his back, and Enigma's going to be the first target as well. Enigma, he's going to be greedy. He's hunting for this ace. Chases Fetis around, but can he land the Deagle shot? He can't. He has to reload. He doesn't get the ace, but this is still not going to be a round that Fetis is going to win. Lancaster, they convert on their second pistol round win, and this is what I talk about when I say baby steps. Just take each round as it comes.
Yeah, certainly. That's really accurate in this one. They can't be thinking about the bigger picture at the moment. The scoreline is just too great for them to worry about that. They can't worry about how far ahead Swansea are. They need to isolate every round and take it as its own. Play it as if it was the the map point round, as if they have everything available to them and they have to make every move perfectly. There is such little room for error. If their economy breaks now, they're in so much trouble. But conversely, they win this round against these 5 AKs. Swansea are back on another eco in the next one. They're starting to get rounds on the board with Lancaster, but it still all has to be done here. Experalis has only got an MP9, and Enigma and Wheelnius only have those FAMASes. But Tobes, that's some excellent aggression there, and really good game sense to fall back just in time.
Yeah, traded back though for Matcha. Now Enzu explodes himself out of Connector, and now Tobes up towards Palace. He is going to be a pivotal member in this particular round because Swansea's still deciding to head towards this A side of the map. They're taking their sweet timing doing so, but Enzu has the angle, and now it's Experalis and Wheelness to try and retake this bomb site. He knows the plant's coming through, but Enzu, through the smoke, finds the headshot, and now Wheelness, with the FAMAS in hand, has bits of utility here and there in this 1 versus 4. But with this round, it might just be a Swansea 13th round, but Wheelness doing his best to try and make sure that this won't be the case. And it's going to be a 13th round there for Swansea. So they get ever closer. They can basically sniff the championship at this point.
Yeah, they're only 3 rounds away at the moment. Lancaster, they need to start showing up, and they need to do it quick. They can't do it in this round because the money isn't there. Their economy has been broken once again, and they're back onto these pistols. We've seen them on eco rounds so often so far in this game. This has been their downfall. It's just, it seems that they've never had any money on them. Now, Swansea, they've got these 5 AKs available. They're pushing 3 players out towards mid, and they have total map control almost every round, it seems. Before they get an execute, Swansea at least have complete mid control and can then decide where they want to go.
Tom will make the entry onto the A site. Matcher will follow up as well onto Enigma, so that's A-bomb site completely open here for Swansea. They'll actually push aggressive off of this one as well. Bomb still in ramp for those guys, but still. Look at the positioning here for Swansea. All players pretty much pushed through. Wheelness, he can't even get himself out of the B-bomb site to try and retake the A. Absolutely penned in. Enzu with the 2 frags. Wheelness, 17 HP and a dream perhaps. Looking for these exit frags to pick up an AK, but it's not going to happen, and it's going to be Swansea surviving with all 5.
Look how calm Swansea are in their victory. They're 2 rounds away from potentially winning the championship, and they're cool as cucumbers right now. They're just taking each round as it comes and really winning them. Look at Enzu. He's on 22 kills once again. He's far and away the highest fragger within the server. Now, 4-buy coming out from Lancaster. This is going to be it, I've got a feeling. This is the round. This is the must-win for Lancaster. They lose this one, and they're probably losing this map, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're a Lancaster fan, give them all of your energy because they're going to need it on this defence, and it looks like they're going to need it to defend the B-bomb site.
Lancaster, this is going to be your best opportunity, perhaps, to get yourself back into this game. Wheelness jump spotting, knows the information, hears them come through as well. That flash exact wasn't really ideal there. Wheelness finds the frag on the defense. Matcher trades it back. Atomical with the entry as well. The fast rotates come in here for Lancaster, but they can't find the frags. They're at a man disadvantage. Look at all the fire in the market right now. The utility, the HE grenades being thrown. Fetis pushed up as well. Lancaster are being denied the retake. It's absolutely ruthless from Swansea.
They've got to go and save. They've got to take all of these weapons away. They're giving Swansea map point. To put this into context, they've got to take these weapons away now and win 10 rounds in a row if they want to force overtime, not even if they want to get this map. Swansea have been so good on Mirage. They said after their Oxford Brooks Vipers series that they were going to need to practice on it and they were going to need to tighten up some of those silly mistakes that they made in that series, and it certainly looks like they've been able to do it here.
Calm and collected on the Swansea side, it seems. No stressed faces at all. They're just thinking it's just another game of MM at this point, it seems like, with the attitude that they're taking towards this game. And I don't mean the BM with the M249, but this might just be the last round of the grand finals unless Lancaster can pull something out of the bag. It's Scouts, it's an AWP, it's a FAMAS, Deagle and an AUG to try and defend against the 5 AKs of Swansea right now. And Swansea, they haven't put a foot wrong so far this map, but Experalis finds the opening that perhaps Lancaster need. He chases Hazza up through the ladder room. Experalis with 2 with that Scout. Can he find any more as this B take comes in here for Swansea Storm Green, looking for the championship championship. Enzu's trying to spray one down, tags one down, finds the kill as well. It's going to be a 2 versus 2 here for the championship. Bomb is down on the site, not planted. This is such a sketchy situation for Enzu to be in, but Atomical, he's on the flank, but decides not to go for it. So how do Swansea play this one? Enzu will be found. Enigma gives a sign of life here to Lancaster. Atomical, 1 versus 2 for the Spring 2019 NUEL CSGO Championship. Can he do it? No, we'll go at least one more round.
Lancaster staying firmly back in that one just by the skin of their teeth as well. They only had 2 players with proper weapons, but congratulations to Exploralis in the start of that round. Those 2 opening scout kills were really pivotal in keeping them in this game right now. They're still going to be on the ropes for money. Exploralis is going to have to pick up a scout once again. Meanwhile, I don't think Swansea are going to be having too many money troubles. They have left the bomb over towards top mids, and they're just going to take mid control again. The early utility that comes out here, Tobes, he whiffs that shot. That's going to allow a player potentially to push up onto short, but he doesn't miss that one. Atomical falls now, and we're in a 4 versus 5.
What a time for Tobes to perhaps turn up in this one. He needs to find more with that AWP. He needs to string rounds together. Needs to string 9 rounds together here for Lancaster to have a chance in overtime. He finds Hazard, but Enzu's there for the trade. A 3 versus 3 situation. Weapons advantage going the way of Swansea. The health advantage with them as well. But it's 2 players towards this B bomb site here for Lancaster to try and defend. And that's exactly where the bomb is going. You got a pretty fast rotate here coming out for all the CT side as well, because Exit is in a position to get there rather rapidly if this hit comes in. Enigma might just come up big here. He might even just get a multi-kill if he jumps on top of that barrels, but pulls out the utility instead, trying to delay the Swansea players. Fetis, he goes out all alone, and he finds the entry onto the B site. Wheelness with the CZ, he can't do anything. Swansea in the 3 versus 1 to take the championship perhaps. Exit alone for Lancaster, and he decides to back out.
Does he think it's a fake?
Does he think it's a fake?
Oh, he was
it's
trying to
not a
save.
fake. It's actually the B bomb site Exit. You have to go. You have to retake. And now Swansea can get themselves in the post plants. But Enzu's down. And now it's Matcher on the AWP versus Exit with the M4. Flash in hand as well for Exit. Matcher wins the NUEL CSGO Championship for Swansea. They are first-time champions.
Congratulations to Swansea. It's their first time to a final, and it's their first victory here. They are your NUEL 2019 Spring CSGO champions. What a dominant performance on the first map and the third map. Both maps we know they're comfortable on. We thought that Mirage was going to be much more competitive, but Swansea just came out swinging, absolutely dominated Lancaster in this one. It just seemed like firepower. They had such incredible firepower from Enzu and being supported by the rest of his team. It just suppressed the economy of Lancaster. They could never really get those full buys together, and ultimately it cost them the map.
It did cost them the map, and it seems like it was sort of a partial repeat of what Swansea did to Warwick on Mirage. Not as extreme of a scoreline, but it's against a similar level of competition as well. Very well done to Swansea, their first ever championship here in the NUEL. It was Lancaster looking for their 3rd championship, but again, it's a grand final, and again, it's a grand final that they do not win.
Exactly. It's their 3rd time coming up as a runner-up in, well, the core 3 for Lancaster. It's their 3rd time being runners-up here at the NUEL segments. Let's talk a little bit about MVPs now. I think there's one man in my mind. It's got to be Enzu, right? He's incredible. He's done so well. I would certainly say that I'd put Hazard in the picture. Yeah. Perhaps he definitely had a really good performance on Cash early on, and it did do quite well on Overpass as well. So for me, I'm struggling to pick between Enzu and Hazard here. I think I am going to edge it out to Enzu in the end, though. I think he did just have the highest stats on Overpass and was completely dominant, and I'd say the key driving force on that Mirage.
I'd say don't forget about Matcher. He was doing a lot of work in the background to try and negotiate this win here for the Swansea side. Just crucial frags. He wasn't the most flashy player on the server, but when he was required to step up, he did and played a pivotal part here in the win for Swansea. But I do have to agree with you, Enzu was completely nuts this series. We talked about him as a talking point in the pre-show. If he turns up, then this is going to be a long road for Lancaster, and it was a long road. It went to a map 3 after a very close map 2 of Overpass. It is Swansea that take the championship here in the Red Bull Gaming Sphere here in London for NUEL Live 2019. We're just getting our trophy presentation ready in just a couple of moments' time, but are there any final words from you, Pratalis?
Well, I'd just like to say congratulations to Swansea. It's a huge feat to be able to come to your first final and actually manage to win out the whole season. Incredible work from them. They had a really tough route through that lower bracket, but they made it here. They took the title in a 3-map series today, and congratulations for Enzu for being the statistically best player in the NUEL Spring 2019 Championship.
Well, thank you very, very much for joining us. Don't go away because we have the trophy presentation, but I've been Raptros, that's been Pratalis, and we're going to send it down to the lobby now where we have the prize-giving ceremony.
Situation onto Zipex. How much can he do by himself? There's one, the straight transfer.
You could be a hero. Scream your name. When the world goes crashing down, you'll take the pain.
It's been such a great experience just to be treated like a VIP, just to bump shoulders with pros. We got to speak to some players that I personally look up to and have been trying to base my own game off, which is pretty crazy. Players like Zipex especially, I was kind of fanboying over the whole day. It's been pretty cool, like getting to come in the VIP entrance, being treated like VIPs, getting to go in the media lounge and stuff like that is pretty cool. I think my best experience at this event was meeting the pros and just sort of discussing some things that happen in the game with them and like their opinions on certain maps and stuff like that. I think that was great.
It is Twist, he's very dangerous. Glaive can't hide forever. The elbow won't be enough, it's the head. 8 seconds now, running to plant the bomb. No, he's going for elimination. Oh, he's got past it! Oh! Twist has made it work! What an animal!
You could be a hero.
I'm pretty happy I completed in NUEL. Some of the prizes have been awesome, especially this VIP treatment at ACS. Meeting all the pros and stuff on the media day and sort of inside access, basically.
So the audience was really exciting. I actually had never been to an esports event before, so that was a really good experience. And the Danish people going absolutely mental at the front, taking their shirts off, beer all over the place. Great experience, yeah.
But he can't get there fast enough. 2 versus 1, and that's it.
Hi, I'm joined here by captain of Swansea Storm Green, Fetis. How does it feel to win the NUEL Live 2019 Spring Championship?
Yeah, it feels absolutely amazing, yeah. I got absolutely carried throughout the whole thing. Shout out to Enzo and Matcha. Yeah, it feels great. Beating, obviously, a lot of incredibly good, talented people. You know, coming in with a lot of internet issues, player issues, not much practice. Everything was just kind of on the back of the same kind of basic calls. So yeah, it just kind of shows the good, I'd say good synergy. Throughout, obviously the pug maps overpass wasn't the best, but yeah, I'm really definitely thrilled and excited to
you
play.
really dominated that series, and coming in last year you were a team that was not very high up in the rankings, but this year you've really stepped up, performed, with Nodge dropping out and you're taking up the IGL, and you've really performed in it. All the hard work's really paid off for you, and so I'm going to bring Ad on to present you with the trophy.
Awesome.
Oh.
Thank you.
So congratulations, yeah. It's been a really great split. How do you feel? Are you confident about next year?
Unfortunately, no. Enzo is dropping out. This is his first year. He doesn't enjoy university, unfortunately, so we can't play with him. Match is on his last year, so he'll obviously be leaving. Me will be there. Atomical possibly, depending on internet issues, as per the whole year. Hopefully we'll bring Era back. Obviously shout out to Era. Maybe Nodge as well. Bring back the old roster, see what we can actually do. So.
Are you confident now with your IGLing that maybe coming in, that you'll be able to constantly perform and kind of put up those top numbers and maybe win another split?
I mean, obviously I'd love to, but I don't think we'll be able to win. I think teams like Portsmouth, if they stick together, they'll do really well, because they were, when we played them, like, it was so close, like, absolutely insane. If what I've heard is true, I think Loughborough as well will be a contender. I don't know about any other unis, but I definitely think next split is definitely going to be a
really tough year.
Definitely tough,
you
a really tough year.
The competition in the NUEL is really stepping up now?
Definitely. I mean, considering that, was it last year? As you said, Sonzi came 53rd. I was the insanely top fragger. No, I'm kidding. And then people coming in, just discovering through societies, through just general advertising. Obviously, we found people, so obviously there's definitely people out that don't know about it yet. Are in uni that are very good.
Yep.
And obviously the fresher faces, the younger kids coming in. Yeah, so a bit worried.
Thank you for coming on, accepting this award. It's been a great pleasure watching you play throughout this split and throughout the previous split. And big shout out to our sponsors, Asus ROG, Red Bull for hosting us, Intel. You know, without them, the competition can be what it is. So
of course.
Thank you.
Right, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you with Overwatch tomorrow.